There we go. All right, let's get started. So I haven't done a super expert in a very long time. So I don't generally play this game. I generally only make levels. I don't even have super expert unlocked yet. All right, y'all. We're gonna work towards unlocking super expert. Just to start off, this should be pretty quick. This should not be too bad. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and I'm gonna turn this down just a bit. Yeah, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna pull up. You sent me a handy dandy spreadsheet or a document as well. I need to have it up.
Yes, I did.
Where is that? Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just start on there. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and Megan, just introduce yourself, who you are, what you are in this community. Like I'm sure most of us here are going to know Megan already. She's one of my
The theme of today
beautiful mods.
is Dainty is quiet.
Yes, okay, so I'm gonna turn down Elgato and I'm gonna turn this up. Okay, how does this sound? Hello, Global Meltdown, how are you doing this morning, my friend?
Hello.
Yes, alright, go ahead, and who are you, Megan? Like, what are you? Everything, just tell us it all.
What am I?
What are you?
Am person.
Person.
No, not person, am turtle.
And turtle, that makes sense.
So I am Megan, or Dainty, whichever you'd like to call me. And today I'm going to be talking about what it is like living with my illnesses and conditions, which I will get to in a minute, but I think we should start by giving like a general statement about the spoon theory.
Uh-huh.
So the spoon theory was created by a woman who has lupus, which is an autoimmune disorder. Means her body doesn't treat itself very nice. Its immune system attacks its own cells. And the spoon theory was created when she was in a diner with a friend trying to describe what it's like living with the illnesses. Hang on. Lee says that he can mod while he's here if Marcy would like.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and oh, did you just DM me that? Yeah, we'll go ahead and just add it. By the way, we just went ahead and threw up the spoon theory. We have
that is a very good,
very helpful graphic here
picture
to help show you that. By the way,
So
Fly
she's in a-
Agaric and Sarizi Speaks, thank you very much for the follows. We'll be doing more stuff during breaks, but yeah, I want to do that. You want my new level? Yes, feel free to submit it. But go ahead, continue, please, Megan. Sorry.
So she was in the diner with her friend trying to describe what it's like living day to day with the amount of energy that she has due to her conditions. And so she went around and grabbed all the spoons from the tables and said, "Here are your spoons for the day. Each one can represent activities that you have to do. So, like getting up in the morning, getting out of bed is 1 spoon. Making a meal for yourself is either 2 to 3 spoons," and said, "All right, go through your day." And by lunch, the friend was out of spoons. So it's just a way for people to explain to others and help them understand better what it can be like with limited energy and chronic illnesses, or even mental health issues. And yeah, so I think now I'll try to go into a little bit of what the conditions are that I deal with.
Sure, yes. Let's go ahead and I'll write these down as well, just in case people want to ask questions. This is probably a good idea. I'm going to make a copy of actually the document you sent me as well, and so people can just have access to like, what we'll be looking at, what it is, the talking points that we have today. So, oh, I also need to set this marker before I forget. By the way, y'all, thank you for the biddy, Pac-Man Boss, by the way. I do appreciate that. This will also be uploaded to YouTube. I do have my YouTube channel is finally set up and good to go. The Career Talk Fridays from here on forward, we're going to be uploaded to there. I'll be trying to, edit those out, but at the very least, we will have those just going forward. So, yeah. But, yes, feel free. I'm going to start writing down this stuff. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Go ahead and start talking. My phone's, I think I'm getting a phone call, but yeah.
The 2 main things that I deal with that make everyday living a bit tougher is a condition called POTS, P-O-T-S. It stands for Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia Syndrome, which means that my autonomic system doesn't work correctly and puts my heart into sinus rhythm tachycardia, which is basically your heart beating really, really fast.
Which,
So the postural part of it is
sorry.
if I sit up or stand up too quickly, my blood pressure doesn't adjust correctly, and it can lead to me getting dizzy, sometimes even passing out, and oh no,
Oh no!
okay.
Okay, thank you, Dainty. That's a little bit of a meme, by the way, y'all. For those of you unfamiliar, sorry to cut you off, Megan. I'll need to get better about this. For those of you unfamiliar, we have a bit of an ongoing game here on the stream in which when Stay Hydrated Bot shows up, we have our mods, our lovely, lovely mods, race to see who can be the first one to time out. What does Smash Hydrated Bot do? That is our warp bot. So, no, I named it that as a joke as well. So, you're taking questions today. Feel free to ask in the Discord. Hey, yep, and 50% of all donations today are going to be going to charity as well, and the rest 50% are going towards me since I don't have an income. I do want to be able to do more in the future, but just given the limited amount of resources I have in this moment, I can't afford to do everything, but yes. So, alright, continue on, again, keep writing the stuff down as well.
Day to day with POTS, my blood pressure doesn't adjust correctly, which can lead to me being dizzy. I haven't passed out in a while because the meds that I'm on for my blood pressure and heart rate have helped a lot. Plus some other things like making sure I'm really hydrated well, because also my body doesn't deal with fluids how it should be, like very efficiently. And so I'm easily dehydrated a lot, which also doesn't help with the blood pressure, because if my blood volume is lower, then my blood pressure is going to be lower. So that's mostly the POTS. I also have an autoimmune disease that isn't quite labeled yet. The working diagnoses, which by the way, working diagnoses is what they put in the chart in order to treat you, like put you on medications and other treatments.
What's the difference between a working diagnosis and just, say, a regular diagnosis as well?
So working diagnosis means that they have an idea of what is going on, but can't specifically say what it is. So you could be having migraines, but you don't know what's causing them, and so the working diagnoses in the chart will just be migraines.
Gotcha.
That might not be the best example. So for me, they know that I have arthritis, they know that I have other autoimmune symptoms, but they can't quite pinpoint what the disease is and what it's called. And there's a type of autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis, which is a type of arthritis and other symptoms, which they think I might have some variation of that, so they're just calling it spondylopathy.
Gotcha.
That is my working diagnosis.
Gotcha.
Which means that they can treat me with an immunosuppressant. Yeah, you don't have to share at all. That's perfectly fine.
That is a-okay. In this stream as well, we invite people to feel free to talk about these things as well. If you have, you know, had similar experiences, similar stories, feel free to share them with us, but you do not at all need to be, like, have to feel comfortable, so you don't have to do this. This is just very much a safe space, a safe place to be able to talk about, you know, your experiences with these things, and not just for disability and health stuff as well. We also are a safe space for queerness, etc. So, yes. I mean, okay, these are normal levels. I have to unlock Super Expert, but yeah. Feel free. Okay, let's continue on, Megan.
Yep. So they reached the conclusion that I have some kind of spondylopathy based on blood tests and different MRIs that showed that I had arthritis that was not actually in the joints a whole lot. It was in the connective tissue around the joints, so like the tendons connecting the joints to the bone, etc. And so I get a lot of pain associated with that. But with the treatment that I am on, which I'm on a couple biologics, which are basically like chemo medications, but I'm on lower doses. It suppresses my immune system so that I am not, so that my cells are not attacking themselves, and it's also lowering the inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
it gets a little tough having a suppressed immune system because I'm way more susceptible to infections and illnesses. Um, but I mostly deal with joint pain and the other like muscle pain and fatigue. Um, a lot of the times I describe the type of pain as like feeling like my muscles are just super worn out and don't want to work right, and they're like kind of sore but mostly just feel tired and
Gotcha.
weighted. Um, so yeah, those are the things that I deal with.
Okay.
Those are the main ones. There are a few other
Uh-huh.
things like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
which is a connective tissue disorder. So like
Gotcha.
my skin and my joints are really loose. I I kind of compare it like if you're trying to describe it to a younger kid, you'd say like instead of my joints being like a rubber band, they're more like Laffy Taffy. And so like my joints will pop out of place sometimes and it makes it really hard to do any exercise because the joints will pop out of place or have a lot of pain.
Gotcha. And by the way, I'm just going ahead and updating the document that we have here now. I think I sent it in our mod chat since you're in there as well. The one that we will be editing.
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and just retained the what it was like on the first one, but yes, we have that in the chat. We also have exclamation point doc um, is in there as well. I'm gonna go ahead and actually just update um, title to include the exclamation point doc, just so people can also know we have that. But yeah, so and we've edited the game audio as well, and it should be a bit better now. I do appreciate everybody that's been pointing out like, hey, like audio levels need to be changed. This is very much still a work in progress. Like we were
Mm-hmm.
definitely a leap and bound forward from where we were last time we did a Queer Talk Friday. And thank you very much for everybody that's here already this morning. But okay, so we got these diagnoses, and it's a lot. It sounds like you have to deal with a lot every day as well. Like I am no stranger
Yeah.
when it comes to my own mental and physical health, but this is
Yep.
a lot of like what I can't really relate to with this. And so
Yeah.
we touched on spoons a bit earlier, and I do think it'd be a good idea to go back into this and just like
Mm-hmm.
with everything that you have going on, and also in regards to energy, just like how is managing your energy levels, your spoons? How does it what does a day-to-day look like when you're having to balance not only just what you need to get done, but also just knowing you have a limited amount of resources out of which you can
Yeah.
put towards getting these things done?
It's tough. I've been dealing with it for about 4 years now. That's the other thing is this only started happening, and like these things started coming up about 4 years ago for me.
Oh yeah.
And before that, I
Oh wow.
was very busybody.
Mhm.
Um, I was an athlete. I did um,
Mhm.
diving, like into a pool, not scuba diving.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it would be like 2 hour practices, and then sometimes even like a workout afterwards.
Mhm.
Um,
So like
and
you
then
Oh,
I
sorry.
went from doing. You're fine. Go ahead.
So like this wasn't something like you were born and then you just always had to deal with this.
Right.
This is something that you were a very active person. You were very much like you
Yeah.
had stuff that you were doing. This
Yeah.
wasn't something that you had any idea was going to happen until it just sort of
Right.
appeared in your life. That must have been very much of a shock to suddenly go
It
from
was.
just that to that.
Yeah. It was rough. Um, where was I gonna go with that? Um, yeah. So the autoimmune stuff, it did show up for me pretty early. Most people
Mm-hmm.
with the autoimmune conditions, they kind of get the symptoms start to show up either in like their mid 20s to early 40s, and so the fact that it started showing up for me at 14 was kind of rare.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it.
um, but yeah, it was really tough. It led to um, me being in a really dark place because all of the things that I knew and like all of the hobbies I had, like playing violin and doing diving and other activities, playing with the dogs, like these are things that I suddenly couldn't do the same way anymore. And it was really tough, kind of almost grieving those activities, like things I can't do anymore. I can still play violin a little bit, but it's very tough, and like my fingers don't move the same anymore.
That makes sense.
So it was really, really tough trying to cope with the loss of those things that I can't do anymore. But that's kind of, everyone says like I don't know how you do it, or I admire like, your strength and stuff, and I'm just like, well, I appreciate it, but also like if you were in my situation, you don't know how to deal with it until you have to, and then you kind of just do.
Exactly.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's just like it sounds like it's not like, oh, you know, it's not like a puzzle where you go into this and it's just like, oh, I have to persevere and get through this. No, it's your life. You can't just you don't just stop living your life. Just sometimes it's gonna get a bit harder. So, oh, you removed your level, Pac-Man? No problem at all. We will be getting to levels. I'll be doing a few levels after this 100-man as well, where we just want to give some people opportunity to go and do stuff. But yeah, so it does not sound as if it was, you know, easy at all to deal with. And on top of that, just having it develop, you know, so early, as well as, you know, you're in school, you have a lot going on at this point. That must not have been easy either.
Yeah, this was the start of high school for me. I was 14, freshman year. I wasn't able to finish the diving season that year, which was really tough.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it was rough, especially like even just the social aspect of it, like all of my teammates not being able to see them every day anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's just like, and you also you mentioned the how, we'll go back to the talking about how people are like, wow, you're so strong and you're able to handle this. And it's like, it must not be like, as I'm hearing from you, it must not be a situation in which, wow, I have to be strong to be able to do this. It's like, no, I just want to continue being able to live my life how it was. It must, having had our talks before, I'm guessing it probably doesn't even feel necessarily great to also have people be telling you this about them, because it's just like, but I haven't done anything. I'm not, it's not a, I haven't chosen to be strong here. I just am trying to continue being myself. So like, we have one of the next questions on here as well, is just people in terms of what questions are acceptable, what questions are inappropriate, what questions are offensive to ask you. And I would say as well, we should probably also just add to that compliments and just advice being given, like why that can be complicated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
that a tough one?
Yeah, that is one thing I hear a lot of people who don't have an abled body, I guess is the best way to say it. Say, let me earn your inspiration. Because just having these things doesn't make me inspirational.
Yeah.
I want to earn that. I want to do things that prove that I am, not just that I have these things.
Because you make it sound like it must come off as almost like, I don't know if quite derogatory or diminishing is quite the right way, but it's just like, I'm sure you had aspirations before, you know, I'm sure you still have aspirations, but your aspirations have probably changed before and after becoming disabled. And to be someone like, from myself, being like, I want to be this type of person when I get older. And then if I was to start hearing people just nowadays just be like, oh yeah, no, like, you're already amazing, like, you good job. It's just like, but you're already praising and complimenting me as if I've accomplished something when I'm just living my life. It must come off like very defeating and almost, you know, I don't think infantilizing is quite the right word, but it's just like diminishing of your achievements. What do you think about that?
I don't know that I necessarily think of it like that. I just feel like when people say that to me, it's like they don't fully know the situation or understand that, like, I I say I haven't done anything yet, but a really, really big thing for me that I do feel proud of myself for was graduating high school on time,
Yeah.
because for 2 years in a row, I had to essentially drop out and go on medical leave
Mm-hmm.
for like the last 3 months of school. And so I didn't finish those second semesters. And so I had to work a lot harder. And a lot of the struggle was days where I didn't have enough spoons to go into school.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time I'd go in, it'd be like I'd spend all my energy trying to get caught up and I'd still be missing what was happening that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all just like piling up so quickly, the amount of work that I had to do.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't able to continue. And the other part of that is also like the time of year does impact my conditions a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's warmer out, I struggle a lot more because I'll be sweating more, which means I'll lose fluids and can get dehydrated. But also, there's this thing kind of known within the chronic illness community called the October slide, where
What's that? I've never heard of that.
your conditions can be doing all right, but then suddenly like October comes around and it just feels like all of your energy just goes away, and like within the month of October everything can get a whole lot worse.
Why would that be the case?
And so that's a really hard time at the start of the school year for that to happen, because you can start out really strong and then suddenly October comes around and the conditions start getting worse. And yeah, temperature regulation can be a big challenge. Yes, it can.
Yes.
Rain and barometric pressure changes. Yep, I get headaches really bad whenever there's a rainstorm that comes through. And it's interesting because my mom gets them as well, but we're always a few hours apart from each other.
That's really interesting.
So we can always warn each other, like, hey, I'm getting a really bad headache from this weather, like, be prepared.
Oh my gosh, you're like a human weather vane. That's really, yeah, that's oh, I had a question. That is really interesting. Yeah, it's as the question was about it was about pots. I'm trying to remember. Oh, you were talking about fluids and losing of fluids with pots like that, because we've been talking a lot about that off the stream as well. Just I've been getting to know more about this as well as someone who is currently in the process of having doctors check out to see if I have something within the dysautonomia umbrella myself. And so, what am I going here?
With the fluids?
I would say, in terms of like diet and stuff like this, things that might not necessarily be a part of this. Have you ever had any difficulties in terms of just being able to handle this from a diet point of view, where like making sure you're getting the proper nutrients and such, now that you have these things that are making it so like you might need more salt in your diet, electrolytes, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, there are other things that can help other than salt, and to explain, the reason salt helps with retaining fluids is because then the salt binds with the water and it keeps it in your body longer. And so a lot of people with dysautonomia are told to increase their salt intake, which seems really backwards for something that is essentially kind of a heart condition.
Yes, my dad has
but
high blood
it really
pressure,
does help. Yeah, it does help. And there are other things you can do, like if you have chia seeds, they help retain a lot of water. So I'll have chia seed drinks or like aloe drinks that can help with hydration. But for about 2.5 or 3 years, I was going in for IV fluids once a week, just to help with dehydration and help deal with those symptoms. Yes, chia seeds are very good.
I've only ever had chia seeds once, but yeah.
Sometimes the texture can be not very nice, like they can feel a little slimy almost, or weird, but sometimes you can also use that to your advantage and make like a pudding out of it. The other thing is there are a lot of POTS symptoms that are even GI related.
Oh, really? That's
yes.
personally interesting to me. So tell me more about that.
A lot of people experience extreme nausea associated with the POTS, and for me, I was having GI issues with mobility, so like things weren't moving at all, and part of that was because of the EDS, the connective tissue disorder, and the other part of that was the POTS. And so it went through a lot of trying different medications to help out and doing different tests to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Analyze what was going on.
Okay. Gotcha. So
I luckily didn't experience a whole lot of the nausea. It was mostly just like the stomach pain that I was having.
Gotcha. You know, and okay, so I think this actually goes into okay, first off, I'm just gonna go ahead and respond to this first question. Where's the gameplay? From Megan herself. Calling her out for that question. Anyways, okay, moving on. So with GI issues, I think this will go well into my next question. I don't know if it's on here, but here, I'm gonna add this real quick.
Marcy, the call connection isn't super great right now, so I'm gonna try turning my camera off for a bit.
Yeah, go ahead and turn off your camera. That's fine. So what I do want to ask is, you know, you didn't have this stuff diagnosed at a young age. I don't know how EDS, you know, presents or how these other things presents, especially in younger children. You said some of these things don't tend to get diagnosed until later in life, but I'm curious, what happened? How did you suddenly go from 14-year-old diver, you know, participating in this to doctors telling you like you have this now going on? What changed? What became apparent that needed you to have to go see a doctor?
Interestingly, how it started was I was getting really, really severe migraines. And severe in the sense that like they were lasting 2 weeks at a time.
Yikes.
And I was getting them at least once a month. And with the treatment that they were trying for that, there was a medication that was causing me a lot of fatigue and body aches. And so they took me off that medication, which was a bit of a process because they had to taper off of it. But a few months after tapering off of it, I was still having that fatigue and body pain, which is when they evaluated me for fibromyalgia. They were going to send me to a clinic for that, and my mom said, well, they're probably just going to do testing for that, like testing for Lyme disease, autoimmune markers, mold, allergies, etc. Like, can we just do that now? Because there's no point in going there and like, can we just get the test done to make it go quicker?
Gotcha.
And that's when the autoimmune marker came back positive.
Oh, okay.
And I was referred to a rheumatologist.
All right, that sounds like a stroke of luck. Maybe not the best luck, but a stroke of luck nonetheless.
Yeah, it was definitely good to catch it early like that.
Sure. And what was the autoimmune marker that of which you were at with?
The specific test was called an ANA test. I don't remember right now what that stands for. I can try to look it up real quick. But it was just one of the levels in my blood that I think it marked inflammation.
Gotcha.
And that's when they then ordered some other autoimmune related tests.
Gotcha. And then what did that lead to then? What came? I'm kind of curious as to what the timeline looked like for, you know, getting diagnosed with migraines and then autoimmune marker, and then we have all these other things, all these other labels and terms that we had talked about earlier today already. Like, what was that process like?
So the migraines started around like fall or winter of 2014, and by like early 2015 is when they took me off of the medication that was causing the fatigue and body aches.
Okay.
And then by March, I had the positive test come back, and the soonest they could get me in to see the rheumatologist was like midsummer.
Gotcha.
And then when I saw the rheumatologist, he recognized the POTS symptoms just by asking me questions and referred me to Cleveland Clinic actually to get the tilt table test, which is a test where they have you lay down for about 10 minutes to get your resting heart rate, and then tilt the table so you stood up and measure your blood pressure and heart rate.
Gotcha.
To try to figure out if you have dysautonomia.
Yeah, I will want to ask more about that
yep.
in a bit, but I do want to have you finish this thought, at least so we don't forget what we're talking about. So yeah, please continue.
So we recognized that, and then I went to Cleveland Clinic for the tilt table test, and when I went and did that, technically I failed the test just because I passed out, but that also proved that I had dysautonomia. So they weren't able to finish collecting the information because I passed out.
Wait.
But because I passed out, it kind of showed that I have POTS. Does that make sense?
Would failing the test then be a negative or a positive then? I feel like
negative in the sense that they couldn't collect the required information to say, like, well, your heart rate went from 90 beats per minute to 160 beats per minute, which is enough jump between those.
It was, wait, one more time? What was the heart rate?
It was like 93 resting heart rate, and it went up around 160 to 200 range.
That's the point of that's past anaerobic exercise. That's your body's having to compensate for something.
And that was just from standing up, which also explains the fatigue. Like, because if my heart was working that much harder to try to accommodate for the blood pressure that wasn't adjusting, that's going to cause a lot of fatigue.
Oh yeah. So it must be that must be where you have the limited energy with the spoons as well. If your part is just having to constantly have to be overcompensating for just simple existing, then yeah, you're going to be exhausted all the time. I can see how this would be.
Yeah. So after 13 minutes of standing, I passed out, and they had to end the test.
Oof.
There are some times where I pass out so hard that my body starts convulsing, almost like a seizure. It's not actually seizure. It's just like my body is trying to flail around to get me laying down so my blood pressure can get higher.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's just like it's going into this mode of, okay, we need to get her onto the ground somehow, and so we're just gonna disconnect her from having control over it, so we can get her on the ground, so the blood pressure can normalize. Okay.
Yep.
That's wow. Okay, that is quite something.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's very intense to witness as well, as I could imagine.
I'm guessing, yeah, you've never witnessed it yourself since. Probably haven't been a part.
I remember hearing my phone fall to the floor, and that's all I remember.
Oof. All right. That is certainly quite something. I think we're coming up on the hour and a half mark here. We've done about 30 minutes of this. I think this would be a good opportunity just to take I'm glad I haven't been able to witness yet. Yeah, I'm glad too, Lee. I think this is going to be a good opportunity just to take a quick break, since I also do need to use the restroom. I'm going to go ahead and have Megan, if you want to answer a couple of the questions that we have here that are to be redeemed, you can go ahead and do that. I will copy and paste them for you. I
think I'm actually going to take a quick break as well.
Oh, you need to take a quick break? All right, then we'll be back in a couple minutes then. Yeah, just take a quick bathroom break. We'll be back. We'll answer these questions when we get back, and then we'll move on. I think the next thing I'm going to want to talk to you about as well is I want to talk more just about what the tilt table test is and what has to do with POTS and why and what POTS has to do with, blood pressure, blood, heart rate, etc. So, all right, let's turn on some more of the jazz, and we will be back in a bit, y'all. BRB. Alright, I am back, y'all. I'm gonna give Megan the opportunity to get back to the stuff. Go ahead and just thank every one of you that has followed as well, and all of the biddies. I've seen a few of you doing that. I really do appreciate it at all. We will be getting back to Queer Talk Friday and interviewing Megan in just a bit. Just getting settled back down, refilled my drinks, quickly used the restroom. Did my webcam freeze? Hold on a second. That's very strange. Thank you. Welcome back indeed. So, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just answer these couple questions in here, but real quick, I do want to remind you all that 50% of all donations today will be going towards the Tacoma Rainbow Center. They're a local organization that provides resources and just a safe place for queer people in the Tacoma area to be able to meet and congregate at. I actually personally went when I first came out as trans. I went there and they were able to sponsor me for 4 free therapy visits with one of the most popular sexologist therapists in the area for trans folk, and so this is my way of being able to give back. On top of that as well, we also have loots. If you want to write a message and have it pop up on the left side of the screen there, no profanity please, you can just write that there, do a quick little CAPTCHA, and it'll show an ad. We will be getting revenue from those ads as well, which will also be a portion of that. 50% will be going to the Rainbow Center. We do have our commission queue, or our level queue is up. Everybody gets 1 free level. If you want to skip the queue, you can do that for a $5 donation. For $2.50, you can also add more than 1 level at a time to this. And I do also want to add into this that we will be doing, there is a karaoke option. So I'm going to go ahead and add this real quick as well, because I don't think I accidentally deleted it last time. So karaoke, I will perform the song voice for Twitch sings for and just quickly writing out this command. %, will go to that, and then we add a link. Hello, welcome back. We are just very quickly adding this command in because I do perform karaoke as well. You lost almost all of your Marcy coins. How have you almost lost all of your Marcy coins, Lee? How'd you do that? Okay, so we do have also, if you want to add karaoke in here, he was gambling probably. That is A-okay. We do have that. So $5, I'll perform any song that you ask for on Twitch Sings, whether or not I know it or not. Although we do have, I will reject songs if they're too mature, something like that. Scratches and picked a card. Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll do it. So we do offer that. We do the levels donations as well. 50% of all the donations today will be going towards the Tacoma Rainbow Center as well. Is this game based on the movie Mario Maker? Yes, this is based off of The Wizard. You are A-okay. You are right. I do not have my power glove on me, but let me go ahead and answer these questions real quick. Also, it's funny. I wonder if Milk Crate is like a different version of milk bags in Canada. But okay, first off, another one from Megan, real quick. How is Annie such a kind cutie? And the answer to that is magic. And then from Chizuo, the Twitch username, which I recognize. I thought this was Blueberry. What's it like being a cool as heck nerd? Which to my answer to that is radical. Pretty radical. So, milk crates are the boxes they ship crates in. They're very popular in kitchens because they make great temp seats when they're on their side. Oh, okay, that's right. I know what that is. You say nice things? Well, you are an amazing person. By the way, y'all, Anime Cow here, my mod, she's the reason we have this overlay showing up. This says you got 100 loots. Is that a lot? I am not a robot. So the way that loots work is it's, the currency actually works in kind of different ways. And so let me go, I can pull up my dashboard right now and quickly look at this. But it's a little strange how it works. You get paid based off of your performance, and so I'm performance index of BB right now, which is the average performance. And so as that gets higher, once you get to BBB, A, you will make more from this. But for instance, right now, I am sitting at about $1 in my in the payout. You have to have at least 5 to be able to get a payout. but it's about 97 cents right now. 1,000 loots is, let me go ahead and check this real quick. So,
hello, Soul Sting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we've done 13 things as well. Let me quickly do the math. So each loot, like for 1,000 loots, that's about 7 cents. And as my performance index goes up, we actually make more off of that. And so right now we get an extra 2 cents per those. But once we go up to triple B again, we'll be getting like 4 or 5 cents. It's very much variable. It's not a ton, but it's a nice consistent way to have stuff be coming through. It's my dad's Switch. He carries all his records in milk crates. That's pretty funny, milk crate. The Fonz has the most power. This is true. Hello, Lilith, my friend. How was your stream after I was not able to catch the rest of it? I hope you're having a good day. Which, by the way, you should submit me one of your levels since I submitted you one of mine. I'm Soul Sting. Is that Dainty? Oh gosh. Hi. Yes, Megan here is the one doing the interview. I'm glad to hear you are doing well, Lilith. We're going to get back to the interview in just a bit. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. I'm going to go ahead and just add another timer real quick. Which sings for charity. To http://www.
It looks like the other thing that I sent you. Don't you mean that you didn't send me?
What do you mean?
Won't be here today, so you should make sure to watch for that not being there. Soul Sting.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second.
She said, yeah. Yes, the thing that you did not send me will probably not be here today, so I should not watch for that.
There we go. We'll go ahead and just add that in there. Another thing, is this timer on as well? Okay, I need to, I haven't been turning these on. That's the issue, because they don't automatically turn on for whatever reason. Okay, we've added them into there. Okay, so Lilith's S and those are not nice. Well, that's the point. What sort of level? Any sort of level. This is all for charity. So, as we do this every week. Thank you, new follower, Marcy. That is, let me go check that real quick, so we do have an opportunity. We will be running credits at the end, and I will be thanking everybody individually. Thank you, Lilith, for that follow. I do appreciate that. Yeah, that one, a nice one. She's trying to unlock Super Expert at the moment to put things in perspective. Okay, well, I am trying to unlock Super Expert, but the only reason I'm trying to unlock this is I just haven't done these runs on my account yet. I made a new account just for myself to be able to upload levels, but I've played this before, and so I just forgot I haven't done this offline yet. I've made levels. Like, I know how to do tough stuff. I play a lot of Super Mario World, which is the same. But yeah, okay, I would say let's go ahead and we're gonna turn off the music. Let's go back to the interview, unless you have anything else you need to do. Megan, I don't think
I'm all set.
Whoa, hold on. There's a lot of comments coming through here. Wait a second. Oh, it's what is happening right now? It's not even on today.
Bye, Soul Sting.
It's very interesting. Huh. My chatbot's on another day, so yeah, feel free to add. Hey, Kiri, how are you doing today? Have a good day, Soul Sting. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Marcy's interview dating, doing a charity Mario Maker stream. Yes, so we will be doing this going forward every Friday. I have decided that this will be Mario Maker that we will be doing as well. Hey, Manko, how are you doing today? And so Queer Talk Fridays, for those of you unfamiliar, because we'll be getting back into this, we have either guest speakers on or I be taking questions every Friday where we talk about all things queer-related, disability-related, etc. This is an opportunity as well for you to ask questions to myself or my guest speaker, and we'll do our best to answer them. You can also go ahead and ask questions in our Discord or tweet them to me through my Twitter. In our Discord, we actually have a channel for questions to ask on these Queer Talk Fridays as well, and so we add them to a list, and then we get to them when we can. We do have a master list that we keep. I need to go ahead and actually pull that up before I forget as well for that. But this is an opportunity for you all to be able to learn more about just how these things are from, a different perspective. Just an opportunity to, be able to get exposed to ideas that you normally wouldn't to. The donation goal at the top be for the charity? Yes, it should be. You were right. I'm actually going to turn this off. Are farts considered PG? Wavy fart? Yes, Boris, you can fart all you want. Also, hello, friend. How are you doing today? Yeah, I need to actually change that donation goal. You were right. Before I forget, I'm gonna write this down because I'll have that for later. I made the mistake of not doing that. Go ahead and first off, where's my note? Oh, I think it's, hold on, I gotta switch this over. Because I have an HDMI splitter, I'm all fancy now, so I have to switch between.
No, that was not Dainty's voice. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not Dainty's voice, no. Dainty isn't real.
Nope. Turtle.
This is true. Yeah, you were right, my mistake. We'll end this goal. We're gonna go ahead and do... Alright, and I think so far we have at 0.25, so, and we'll have this end today for 2019. Okay, there we go. There we go. That has been edited. That's more accurate now. 1 second. I need to turn this off for just a moment. Oh, I missed that loots as well. Let me go look at that. But yes, Mario Maker interview about what? So today we are talking with our mod DaintyTurtle7, the ever lovely Megan. She is talking about her experiences.
Where did your webcam go?
I don't know. Probably on your phone. But today
on stream I don't see your webcam.
Oh, I turned it off for a moment. I have to take care of something, and I want the webcam off. And so the ever lovely Megan talking to us about accessibility and her life living with disability and what she has to deal with. For instance, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, a working diagnosis of ankylosing spondylitis. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it. Ankylosing spondylitis. Yes, I got that right. I don't know why it wrote as ankylosing, but yeah, we have that in there, and we do have our document, so you can follow along with what we've talked about and just some notes. Dainty uses she/her pronouns. Yes, and so let's go ahead and write this down. Yes, we have a donation goal today of $20 as well, and if we do hit that donation goal today, what will I do? If we hit that donation goal, I will attempt to play something by Panga. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
That sounds good. Donation goal, $20, and I play something by Panga. So there we go. That'll be fun. Let me go ahead and just save this QTF 5/24/2019 because I have this in just a little doc that we have here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and just get started in a moment. How have your conditions affected your farts? That's a good question, Boris. You should definitely ask that in the overlay as well, so we don't forget that. You go ahead and do that. Answer that, Megan. I actually have to step away for just a moment. I will be right back, but feel free to answer that.
Well, my farts haven't necessarily been super affected. There was a while there where I was having GI issues, and they had to do a test where I swallowed these capsules that had all of these little circles in it that would show up in an x-ray, but I don't think that affected my farts really. Does that answer your question? By Pink? Who is Pink? You mean Panga? You didn't expect an answer. Okay. That's fair. That's a good thing to think about. Yeah, Lee, who's Pink? Okay, yeah. Lee, do you know who Panga is? Panga is a Kaizo level creator. Alright, yeah, that's fair, Boris.
Okay. Yes, Megan here will answer any questions. Hi, I'm back. I had to go do a medication thing.
Well,
real
I
quick.
wouldn't say any questions.
Okay, not any questions. No, there are some questions that are for the after stream. Kidding. That's not happening. Okay, just going back through the chat. My good friends. Okay, yeah. Voice does not make gender obvious. That is very true. I definitely have a bit of a lower voice. Sometimes people ask, but no Annie questions, indeed. I thought I heard Pink and thought Marcy meant on the ukulele. Yeah, I know Panda. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. Okay, let's go back to the interview.
Panga.
Panga, yes. So, by the way, y'all, if you want to follow along with what we are talking about, we do have the document right there that you can access. But, okay, so what I wanted to ask about is... Wait, first of all... Why is this typing S? I'm writing Y. Where did I write this down? So, I'm gonna write this down.
We know who Pink is.
Who's Pink? I don't know.
The
Pink.
confusion was Lee Pink the pop singer person.
Oh, like Pink with the exclamation point?
Yeah. Lee thought Marcy said Pink, but she said Panga.
Okay,
I don't understand how he heard Pink, but that's all right.
Yeah, well, that's Lee. Lee's weird like that, so that is okay. But okay, let's go ahead and go back to that. So I wanted back to the interview now. We're at 1:49. Yeah. Okay, so we'll take another break at 2:30. Or 2:30 on the timer. So Tsukushi is not a man. So tilt table test. I wanted to ask about that, and so just in terms of POTS, POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, if I'm correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the tilt table test, and what does heartbeat and your blood pressure have to do with it and with POTS?
The tilt table test, I think I briefly explained before, is where you lay down for about 10 to 15 minutes and they measure your resting heart rate and blood pressure. And then after that 10 or so minutes, they tilt the table so you're stood up. They normally have straps on you in case you do pass out so you don't just fall over.
Gotcha.
But they measure how your heart rate and blood pressure adjusts as you stand up in order to diagnose either dysautonomia or high blood pressure. Type the name. Do you mean this?
That's Pink. That's, for the record, that is Pink, but we're not talking about them. We're talking instead about Panga, Pangea Panga. He is a level editor, creator in Super Mario Maker, and just a well-known member of the Kaizo community. But okay, so talking about the tilting of the table. The name of the syndrome. It's here. I'm writing this out. Let's see, you can write this out first. Tachycardia syndrome. Oh, you beat me to it. Okay. So, yes, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I win. So, do you want to quickly explain what that is as well for those of us who are just joining or unfamiliar with it?
Dysautonomia or... Yeah, not orthopedic.
Well, it is not orthopedic.
Dysautonomia is a type of autonomic dysfunction. Your autonomic system adjusts your blood pressure and handles like your fluids in your body and also manages like your sweat glands and other things like that.
It's like the automatic systems of your body that you don't consciously have to regulate, correct?
To an extent, like not necessarily like breathing, you know? Yeah. So, with the tilt table test, when they had me do that, they were checking to see if my blood pressure when they stood up didn't change or even got lower. And also measuring how many beats per minute my heart rate went up. So my resting heart rate was 93 beats per minute. And when they tilted the table and stood me up, it went up to around 160 beats per minute to around 200 beats per minute.
Oof, okay.
It only has to go up 30 or 40 beats per minute to technically be diagnosed as POTS. And so I definitely exceeded that.
Seems like
which
you
gave me the
excelled at that
diagnosis.
test. Yeah.
And I wasn't actually able to stand for as long as they wanted me to
Mm-hmm.
before I did actually pass out because my blood pressure didn't adjust enough, and so my heart just was beating really, really fast, and then there wasn't enough blood getting to my head, and so I passed out.
Oof. That does not sound fun.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a good time.
No, it doesn't sound like it. Yeah, so what does this have to do then with the tilt-table test? I'm trying my best to listen. It's a little hard to hear on my end. That's just my hearing issue. So in terms of passing out and such with blood pressure, what's happening to your blood pressure as you're being stood up on this table? Okay, so we'll wait another 30 minutes. All right.
Yay,
Yeah,
it's
not too
back.
sure what happened, but okay, yes. Welcome back, y'all. Sorry about that. My internet just for a moment. Yeah, go Lee, have a
Okay,
good
bye
day.
bye.
You take care. Little few friend. Yeah, sorry about that. My internet just seems to just for a moment. So, okay. We're going to have to go ahead and marker this as well cuz I'm going to have to put these two together if they come up as two different VODs. But okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I was wondering why you weren't hearing me. I'm not too sure what happened there, but looks like we had a bit of a hiccup on the internet. I'm actually going to close a few of these right now, just in case that might help. I don't need that up. I do need that one up, though. I want that one up. Don't need that one up. Just closing a few tabs. Hopefully it'll help. So, yep, there's only a couple levels in the queue. Feel free to add levels, by the way. I don't care how hard they are. I don't care if they're puzzles, etc. This is all for charity. We have our donation goal up above, trying to raise $20 today, and if we do hit that donation goal, we will be trying a level by Panga. I have a few in mind that I'll be trying, but yes. Okay, so where were we, Megan? I think I was just asking you about blood pressure, or okay, did you hear me talking about blood pressure, heart rate, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so when I stand up, my blood pressure doesn't change, which means that it's not pumping the blood enough, like strongly enough to get it to my head. And the blood will tend to kind of pool down in my legs rather than being pumped up to my brain, which will then cause me to pass out because there's not enough blood flow to my brain.
Gotcha. Okay. So when you're being tilted up on this table, I'm guessing, is what happening is all your blood just like pooling into your legs or something like that?
Mostly, yeah. Yeah. Because it's not, my blood pressure is too weak to get it moving where it should be.
Gotcha. So like it's weak to go be, and so is that why also you have your heart rate is also starting to skyrocket as well? Is because of that?
The heart rate goes up to try to compensate for the blood pressure that's not adjusting.
Gotcha. So, and I'm guessing that's why when they test you on this tilt table, that's probably why they're testing your blood pressure and your heart rate, because they're wanting to see like what's happening inside your body. Okay.
Yep.
So having done that the first time, what was it like in your first time as well?
It was all right at first, but then I quickly started getting really, really warm, and my head started hurting really badly. Oof. And then I started getting dizzy, and all of my muscles felt so fatigued.
Oof.
Just trying to work and like keep me standing.
Even though you were strapped in.
And then I eventually, yeah, because my legs are still like holding me up essentially.
Gotcha.
You're still like standing on your own. It's just in case you do.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Pass out.
Gotcha.
So then there were like little black dots starting to happen in my vision a bit. My hearing went a little fuzzy, and that's when I started to pass out, and like my vision tunneled, and then I couldn't see, and then I don't really remember until the table was back down and I was laying down again.
Okay, so yeah, you didn't come back to consciousness. I'm guessing since you were strapped in, your body couldn't get you back to, a point where the blood was flowing back regularly, so they had to tilt it back down, so it's going back
Yeah.
into your head, so you can
Yep.
exist again. That's
And they have
oof.
a doctor on standby.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have to have a doctor there, even though it's only the technicians really running the test,
Mm-hmm.
in case that happens.
Interesting. Gotcha. So it's like, even though it's a basic test, it could end up actually being very dangerous depending on what happens and how you react to it. Gotcha.
Yep.
That's really interesting. Okay, so we got this tilt table test, and was it immediately that you got diagnosed with POTS then, or is there another test that you had to do, or is that it?
That was mostly it. There is another optional test that they can do called a Q-SART test.
A Q-SART. How do you spell that?
I am not actually sure. If you look up Q-SART sweat test, it'll most likely phobia me.
I think I found it. QSART testing for Vanderbilt Autonomic Dysfunction Center.
Yeah.
I think I found it. Okay.
So what they do is they attach electrodes to certain parts of your body, and then these like little suction cup type things that measure your sweat, and the electrodes stimulate, and they try to measure if you are sweating a normal amount or sweating too much. So with POTS, you can sweat a lot, more than you should, which doesn't help with dehydration.
Okay, POTS makes you sweat more? Why would POTS make you sweat more?
Because my body essentially isn't regulating its temperature in the way that it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get warm way too easily.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, oh god. Oh gosh.
Ah! No, stay hydrated. Okay, we're good.
Ooh, it's
okay.
gone.
And I hope you don't mind if I talk about just my experiences as well and how I'm questioning about this and doing that. Okay, because as someone like we have been talking about a lot about this off chat. And by the way, we're not playing Twitch Doctor here. None of that here. I'm not telling anybody you have this stuff, but I often have issues, especially when I'm resting or just have been moving around, where I'll get super duper warm and super uncomfortably warm, especially if I've been like moving stuff around for a small while. Is that what you're kind of talking about being related to this, or?
So that can be mostly normal. Like sweating does happen when you do activity, but if like I'm just sitting in bed right now and I feel completely comfortable temperature-wise, yet I'm still sweating, which is not normal. And it's the same goes for like if you stand up too quick and get a little dizzy. Like that happens to everyone every once in a while, but not every single day and not every time you stand up.
I'm actually really interested to hear more about that then, because this is something I've been talking about with my family as well, where their response is, well, no, everybody experiences that, because Megan and I have been talking about this off stream. We've been doing our own just stuff to just look into, like, should I go see a doctor about this? And my talk with my sister, for instance, when talking about how my experiences with this, she's like, oh, that happens to everyone. Like, it happens to my family and all of my my friends experience this. And so what's the difference?
It does happen, especially if you are dehydrated or if you haven't eaten much. Like I can definitely tell, like I am more prone to passing out if I have not eaten. So times when I have to do fasting blood work or lab tests, it's the worst. Like I know I will pass out when they draw the blood. Like that's just a guarantee. And those were the 2 times where I ended up convulsing as well.
Gotcha.
Well, actually, 2 of the 3 times that I convulsed from passing out.
Gotcha. So, and then what's the difference then between what the typical person will experience with this and versus someone with dysautonomia? Is it just the frequency of it? Is it the intensity of it? Is it multiple things?
Yep. The frequency, the intensity. So, like, most people, if they stand up too fast, they get a little dizzy. Their vision might get a little funny, but then a few seconds later, they'll be fine. Whereas someone with dysautonomia, they will stand up and their heart will be racing. Like, you can sometimes even get palpitations, which are just, like, your heart feeling like it's fluttering or skipping beat. Whereas that doesn't normally happen with everyone else. Like, it takes a lot longer for your body to recover and get back to normal.
Okay. And so, like, I'm not too sure what is a palpitation exactly. I think you just mentioned it, but could you explain that one more time?
It's it feels like your heart is maybe skipping a beat or fluttering is what
Mm-hmm.
it's described as. For me, it's a little more painful than that. For some people, it can
Interesting.
be a lot more painful. But it's just like your heart beating so fast that it's not a regular heartbeat all the
Mm.
time.
And
Not
that's
in a
okay.
dangerous way, but just
Just more than
it's
usual,
just
and it's
different.
uncomfortable. I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay. And so
Yep.
that's okay. That's definitely interesting. So do you? I'm sure. I mean, you probably don't know inherently or haven't experienced it. But as I'm sure you're probably familiar with this, how often is a typical person going to be experiencing symptoms like this, like we're describing here?
I can't say for sure, but probably. I mean, it also depends on like if they're hydrating very well. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone's dehydrated or just getting up in the night, they
Mm-hmm.
might experience that
And how
every couple
severe
weeks
would it be
or
as
every
well?
couple months even.
Okay.
It would just be like, oh, I'm a little dizzy, and then a few seconds later they're fine and back to normal.
Okay, and so it's just a very quick like, oh, like I'm just getting from like a very much rested position and now I'm up, and it's like, oh, okay, compensating
Yeah.
for a bit, but then your body's fine. But someone with
Yep.
DOTS, for instance, it's gonna be after resting for just a little bit. It's gonna happen almost always after going off a resting position, and it's probably gonna be a lot more
Mhm.
severe, like maybe more so than
Yeah.
dizziness. We've talked about how your vision can start having like start going dark. You can start having
Yeah.
fuzzy hearing. Anything else that I'm forgetting?
For me, I remember a couple times where I stood up and my vision completely disappeared and
Mm-hmm.
I could feel my muscles all like shaking trying to keep me stood up. Like
Oh
I was trying
wow.
to fight it, which was not smart. I should
Mm-hmm.
have just laid down right there, right then and there. But
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. This is just a quick side question then. How often do you have to just lie down then, and what is it like having to, do that?
if you asked me this a few years ago, it would be a completely different answer because right now I'm on medications that are managing my POTS pretty well,
Oh,
other
cool.
than the like the body temperature
Mm-hmm.
stuff and hydration. So my blood pressure is maintained pretty well along with my heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
But there are still days where I will get dizzy when I stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it luckily doesn't happen very often anymore. The worst is when I have to like stand in a line, stand in place
Mm-hmm.
for a while, and my blood will start to pool in my legs. But I also wear compression socks and compression leggings
Gotcha.
to help because it like squeezes the blood back up to where it should be.
Gotcha. Okay, and so medication can help with this. How exactly does medication help with this? Are you familiar with what it does?
Same as girlfriend, walking is okay. Waiting, standing, yeah, waiting is the worst. That's when I pass out. Like I've been waiting in line before. It's happened a few times waiting in line. Waiting to sign in to actually get fluids for the pots, and I passed out,
Interesting.
which was I think I was telling Marcy last night that that happened. I was waiting to sign in somewhere at an office for the IV fluids, and I ended up passing out, and they said it looked like the Wizard of Oz with just my
Oh my
feet sticking
gosh.
out at the end
Yes,
of
you were telling me
the
about this.
person's desk. um, so the
My goodness.
medications, they help raise my blood pressure, but also lower my heart rate, like make it so my heart rate won't be as crazy.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay, and so that definitely sounds like it helps. I'm also curious
Hmm.
as well. Um, is there can the symptoms also be aggravated? Like, say, if you go from a resting position to suddenly being very active, can that aggravate the symptoms of POTS as well, or dysautonomia?
It can, like you can end up getting way too warm by doing that, but if you're being more active, that'll help the blood move, like your muscles are constricting and making the blood move. Um, but also overdoing it can make you pass out. Like it can make anyone pass out from that.
Gotcha. Okay. I think this would be a good opportunity now. Time to move on from this. So I mean, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today that POTS and EDS are going to be relevant to. Or actually, first off, you talked a bit about EDS as well. Do you want to quickly just go over that once again and just explain like how it impacts your life and what it is you have to do in regards to with it?
I mean, there isn't a whole lot you can do other than like braces and strengthening the muscles around the joints. But EDS is a connective tissue disorder. It means my skin is like extra stretchy and my joints are really, really loose. So like if I say I'm like sitting on my bed and I lean back on my arms, my shoulder joints will sometimes pop out of place doing that.
That does
If
not
I'm
sound fun.
trying to like use a knife to cut something and I'm pressing with my index finger on the knife to cut whatever I'm trying to cut, the joint will sometimes lock up or move in a way that it's not supposed to. And the way that EDS is diagnosed is there is I believe it's called the Baton scale.
A Baton scale?
And
okay.
Yes, there are different things you can do, like smooth skin. Yes, that's like the only good thing, and maybe party tricks. The Baton scale, they measure things like how far your elbows bend. So instead of my elbow extending to a 180-degree angle, it'll actually go further than it's supposed to, like bend the opposite way. Does that make sense?
Oh, so is that
sense,
similar to like being double jointed, or is that a different thing?
Yeah, it is. It is being double jointed essentially.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there is a newer scale. Not everyone uses it. So another
I've
thing
actually
is
found
like
a link right now. I'm gonna throw it into our document that we have as well.
I can show Marcy on Skype real quick.
Sure.
But
Give me
I
1
can
second.
bend my thumbs, so they're all the way up against my inner arm.
Go ahead.
Can you see that?
Interesting. So like, let me try with myself. Like, this is as far as I can go. I can't quite.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I can completely like press my palm up against my inner arm.
Yeah, I very much cannot do that. If I force it, I can get the thumb to touch it, but yeah, that's not. Let me see if I can actually get you on the stream as well, since you have your camera. We were having an issue with this the other day, but let me try one more time with that. Well, we could do a display capture. That could do it.
I don't know if you can see that, but my elbow goes further than it should.
I can't quite see that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to do a display capture for your Skype for a bit. I'll still play Mario Maker as well, but hold on a second. I believe double joint is just minor levels of EDS are not past the threshold of debilitating.
That is right, Annie.
Okay, so go ahead and just.
I have a lot of issues with my hips and like the joint tendons going across areas they're not supposed to. When I'm walking. Different things like that. A lot of EDS people use mobility devices such as canes to help support them when they're walking. So that I'm here.
Yes. Hi. By the way, there you go. If you wanna show on stream, I found a way to make it work. So
my thumbs and like this part of my hand can be bent so far that like they're touching my arm, which is not necessarily normal.
Which, to demonstrate here on the same arm, that's as close as I can get it. So I cannot get the palm anywhere near there. And is that painful to do as well, or?
Not at all.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah, we'll have you there just for a little bit if you want to demonstrate anything else. But yeah, now we do have the Skype display capture set up. So
nothing that I can think of at the moment, but like that's just one example. But yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes my kneecap will, if I'm like leaning down or like kneeling for something, my kneecap will pop out of place.
Gotcha.
Like it'll just slide out of place.
Interesting.
Girlfriend would have
We'll turn off the cam then for now.
Like falls at a party, dislocates shoulder, it just pops in. Yeah. I just like pop it back into place with my other hand. Like I'll just go like this and put it back in place.
Oh, hold on. Do it one more time. I just turn off the cam. You want to show that again?
Oh.
What are you doing?
If my shoulder pops out of place, I'll just like put it back into place with my hand like that.
Wouldn't that normally be painful for people, or is it different here?
it is a little painful for me, at
Mm-hmm.
least. It isn't for everyone. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
I think I can actually, if you want to just be on cam as well. Now that I have this set up, I think I can just have you here in the bottom left corner for now.
Okay.
Since I don't really have a better place. I don't know if chat viewers would want to be able to see you, but we can do that. So we'll have it there for now, just as a work in progress. So if loot shows up, I can move you. But yeah, so we have that now. But okay, so we learned about EDS. We bit of an introduction to
Mm-hmm.
this. There's a test for it, just about how you can move stuff as well, or the joint still works. So okay, so I think now we can get into the main thing I've been advertising the stream, talking about as well, which is your usage of a wheelchair. So, because I'm guessing
Mm-hmm.
you weren't diagnosed with this stuff until later in your life, and so you probably didn't
Right.
use a wheelchair until somewhat
Yep.
recently as well. And so, why don't you talk about how it was, why you ended up getting a wheelchair in the first place, how it felt, and what your experience was just immediately, and then we can start going in and diving into more specific questions in regards to that.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a wheelchair
Mm-hmm.
after talking to my cardiologist about how there were things that I wasn't able to go to do,
Mm-hmm.
like going on longer shopping trips to the grocery store or going to the mall, like longer outings where I physically wasn't able to walk for that long or stand
Mm-hmm.
for all of that time.
Gotcha.
And so he gave me a prescription for a wheelchair, and I believe we like leased it for a while and then eventually paid it off and it became mine
Gotcha.
to use.
And so, why did you need
It's
to
been
use? Why did you get prescribed a wheelchair? Why did you need to use this? Even though you're still able to walk around, I think most people generally see someone in a
yeah,
wheelchair as, oh, they're wheelchair bound. They can never walk at all. But I mean,
yeah.
I've seen you walking around just earlier, even on
So
Skype.
yeah,
So what's
yeah.
the difference
I
here?
can I can walk for about 15 minutes
Mm-hmm.
most of the time before I get too tired to
Mm-hmm.
carry on or I start to feel dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was given a wheelchair because of the POTS diagnoses, along with like the overall muscle fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
And it just helps me, like, say I'm going to the mall, I wouldn't be able to stand and look at stuff for that time, so I would just bring my wheelchair. But there are times where I'm able to stand up for a little bit, which has gotten me into trouble, unfortunately.
Really?
Like, yeah, like I would be in Bath and Body Works and I'd want to smell a candle that I couldn't reach, and there wasn't someone I knew nearby me, so I would just stand up for a moment because I can stand for a moment to reach for a candle and sit
Interesting.
back down. And this lady turned around to me and like screamed at me, "Faker!"
Oh
And I
wow.
was like, "Okay, obviously you don't know much about wheelchair users." I believe I did share a study with Marcy talking about how many wheelchair users are able to stand to some extent.
What was the statistic that you gave for that as well?
About 80% of wheelchair users have remaining function in their legs.
Where users have remaining function in their legs, which is, I think there's this myth that exists that is just like people that use wheelchairs, you're only allowed to use you're only allowed to use a wheelchair if you can't use your legs at all, and B, the only people that
Mm-hmm.
use wheelchairs are people that would not be able to get around anyways, and that's not true. It really seems
Yeah.
the case. Like there's a lot more usage and there's a lot more people that use wheelchairs than besides just for I can't walk around. And so,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like you've had people call you faker, and so is that something that you've dealt with a lot since starting a wheelchair? Like what have your experiences been like in terms of people accusing you of faking or stuff like that?
Most of the time it's just odd glances and like
Mm-hmm.
that's the worst of it. Um there have been a few times where like people did say like, "Why are you in a wheelchair?" Like that lady that called me a faker. Um there was another time where I was using my wheelchair in, I believe it was a Costco or Sam's Club type
Mm-hmm.
place. And this woman came up to me and said, "Can I have the wheelchair?"
Really?
And I was like, "Well, no, I'm using it." And she was like, "My mom needs it. Can I have it?" And I was like, "This is my wheelchair. Like this is
It wasn't
the
like a
one that
store
my insurance
wheelchair, right?
gave me." No. And she was like, "Well, you don't need it." And like they just assumed because I'm young and because I am able to use my legs, that I don't need it, and that like I'm just being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like times when I go to the store and I don't bring my wheelchair, but I use like the motorized carts
Mm-hmm.
because that's a lot easier for me and it makes it so I can be there longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a lot of weird looks.
I'm guessing.
I don't think I've had
Oh, sorry.
anything to me in the grocery store for using that, but
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot um for doing that.
Gotcha. I think this is probably before, talking with you as well. I was, unfamiliar with that, but it's just like, how do I quite put this? I was unaware of the fact that so many people use wheelchairs that, still have remaining use in their legs. But I feel as if this
Yeah.
is probably something that's not really talked about in terms of the amount of discrimination that is, that happens to people like you, people that have wheelchairs and use these mobility devices in order to improve your lives, but you don't necessarily need them to exist. And
Right.
it's like, I don't think this is something that we really talk about. Like, I before really getting to know you as well, I was really unfamiliar with just how pervasive this could be and how common it could be to face this sort of discrimination.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think this is actually a good segue then into the next question, in regards to this. And it's just like, when it comes in terms of people interacting with you and talking to you about this, like what you might have people that ask you questions about this. You might have people that accuse you of this, and it's like, what is it like? What's considered appropriate and acceptable for people to ask you about in terms of your wheelchair usage or just any of your other disabilities as well? What's not appropriate? What's offensive to ask or talked about and point out? Like what, and maybe like what could come off as like someone trying to compliment you or like be nice to you and could come off as derogatory, diminishing. Like I have the questions in the document as well, but there's a lot. Just feel free to start wherever with that.
So for me, the two things that I get the most are, oh, well, you look okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look like you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's a compliment, but it's also, like, really dismissive, saying, like, oh, well, you look fine, so just blowing it off. The other thing I get from strangers, which is so weird to me, that strangers feel comfortable just asking, like, these really intimate questions when it could possibly be, like, a really hard thing for that person to answer, is what happened?
Gotcha.
What happened to you? And it's like, if someone, say, like, I've heard of people that use wheelchairs because of a failed suicide attempt, and you just ask them what happened, they're not going to want to talk about that with a complete stranger. It's just so weird to me that people feel it's okay to ask those kinds of questions. Yeah, or like people say, like, what's wrong? Like, why are you in a wheelchair? It's like, well, I don't know you. Why am I gonna like, I can give them the simple answer and say, well, I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome and possible ankylosing spondylitis, and that kind of might shut them up because they don't know what that is, and they're just like, okay, and walk away.
And just to respond to this as well, a couple things come to mind. One, you might not even have an answer for what happened, especially if if you were born with a condition that made it so you couldn't use your legs. Like, how do you answer that? I was just like, oh, I was born.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. On top of that, it sounds as if there's just like, when it comes to your use of a wheelchair like that, it almost as if people just start to disregard the fact that you're also a person, an adult, and just it sounds almost infantilizing. I don't know if that's quite the word that you would describe, but just ignoring the fact that, like, hey, you do have privacy, and just being like, oh yeah, it is my business, and it's a-okay to just be like asking personal questions like this. Like,
I have something to say about that as well.
Go ahead. We'll take a break after this as well and come back to this.
Okay. When people think that they cannot speak to me and they have to ask questions to whoever is helping me or like pushing my chair, they will ask, like, oh, what would she like to drink? And it's like, I'm right here. I can answer that question. And then I'll answer it, but then they'll still go back to that other person and like keep asking them questions, even though I'm sitting there answering them.
They'll act as if you're not there.
You can talk to me. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating too. Like, I've heard, there's a YouTuber named Molly Burke. She's completely blind.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that happens all the time with her too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she has her guide dog and someone with her, they will not talk to her, or like they will talk to her and they'll until they realize that she's blind, and then they'll like ask questions to the other people. It's like, you were just talking to me. Why is it suddenly different now that you know that I'm blind? Like, I hear that and I understand what that's like.
You know, I can't quite relate in terms of this, but I do remember a couple instances in my own life where, like, in August of last year, I was in the emergency room, and I was in a great deal of pain because of what I was experiencing. And I was just, I was listing, like, what I have, and I was like, oh, I'm autistic, to the nurse. And the nurse, just at that point, just because of how much pain I was in, I was groaning and moaning because of the pain. She asked the other people that were here with me, it was just like, is she able to talk for herself? Is she able to, like, you know, represent herself? And I was just like, I'm still here. Like, I'm sorry, I'm like feeling debilitated, but I'm still an adult. And it was really strange to be acted as if like I couldn't take care of myself or I couldn't represent myself. And how often would you say you experience that sort of, you know, issue, this discrimination?
It's not a whole lot, just because lately I haven't needed to use my wheelchair as much. Like, I've been able to do longer outings.
Gotcha.
But it happens like almost every time that I do use my wheelchair.
Gotcha.
Like, especially if we're at a restaurant or somewhere where I need to communicate with the employees, and they think that I can't just because of how I'm moving around.
Interesting. And it's like, and I'm guessing you don't experience this when you don't have to use your wheelchair, right?
No, not at all.
Huh. Why do you think people do that then? What do you have, like, your own hypothesis about this, or?
I don't really know. It's hard to say. They might just associate a wheelchair with someone not being fully mentally capable, I guess, of communicating. But I don't know. I don't know why they do that.
Gotcha. All right. And we're gonna go ahead and take this this moment opportunity. We're gonna take a short break. I need to go use the restroom. I'll allow Megan to also, you know, go use the restroom. I'll turn off her webcam for just a bit. We'll bring her back up after this. But I do want to take a moment to remind you as well, all that we are raising funds for the Tacoma Rainbow Center as well. 50% of all the donations today, including subs and bits, will be going to the Rainbow Center. We have a sub goal of $20 up at the top as well. If we do that, we will be ending the stream by trying to beat well, not even ending the stream. We'll just do we'll try to do a Panga level when that happens. I have a couple levels in mind that I do want to try. As well as we are accepting levels for viewer levels. I'll be finishing up this 100-man, then we start doing viewer levels, which anybody can submit. You get one level per person. You can also donate $2.50, which will, you know, 50% will go to the charity as well, to be able to add another level to the queue past the one. Although I'm fairly sure once I beat your one level, you can continue to submit more past that. If not, I'll make sure that is the case. You can also spend $5 to either skip the queue and have your level be played immediately, or $5 and I will go ahead and perform a song on Twitch Sings as well, for you all of your choice. Though I will say if it's too mature, if there's too much language, I will say no to that. And also, as a reminder, we do have Lutz messaging in here as well. If you want to have a message of yours show up on screen, go to that link, type in the message, fill out a quick captcha, and it'll play an ad on the left side of the screen, which the revenue from the ad will go to myself as well, and I will be splitting that revenue between myself and the Rainbow Center as well. And also, if you want to ask any questions directly to us, we can take them in the chat, or if you want to make sure that yours gets answered in a way that is being done today, we have our overlay right here. We have the Ask a Question in there for 50 of the Marcy coin, which I'll go ahead and just add that to you all if anybody has, you know, a want to do that. But yeah, we will be right back. We'll play some music, get some Ghibli jazz up in here, use the restroom, and then we will take a moment to just readjust, and we will continue the interview. So we are going to be right back, you all. Alright, we are back, y'all. Go ahead and turn down this music for a bit. Go ahead and we're gonna catch up with the chat. Hopefully the frames weren't dropping too bad. I think the music is definitely impacting it. Also, I needed to remember. Go ahead and get my Instagram clout. Yeah, send this out as well, which, by the way, oh, I need to, hold on, real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and update this. Megan, you are also back on as well, if you want to talk.
Hi.
Yes, and Megan has an idea of what we're going to be talking about next, and we'll definitely get to that. I want to quickly add just go change one last thing really quickly. I have forgotten to do, where is it? There we go. That's a good one to change. Okay. By the way, y'all, we do have various forms of social media. You can follow me on Twitter for updates on the stream, hot takes, hot clips, hot videos, etc. It all gets updated on there. You can make sure to go join our Discord as well. We're a lovely group of people. It's a very wholesome, loving community. That's what we go for. If you have any questions as well for a future Queer Talk Friday, you can ask in the Ask an Autistic Tran channel, which, please don't say Tran yourself. That is very much a bit of a joke, I guess, within our queer community. But yeah, we're a great group of people. And also, start advertising the fact that I do have an Instagram. I mean, I have been advertising it a bit more, but I need to add that to the social media as well. And you can see all the cute selfies and such I take before every stream, and you can see why.
Annie, I love it.
Much work I do. Oh, is there a package? What is this?
I love it.
Person. No. That is actually amazing. And I'm gonna go ahead and show that on stream.
Oh, that's
because
perfect.
This needs to be in the VOD. Oh, I'm gonna throw a marker in here as well. Where is the web browser? Yeah, this is Dainty in a nutshell. This is actually
yes, I
true.
did say that earlier.
You did. I remember when she said that, and I was like, okay then. Anyways, let me get this real quick.
Perfect.
This out, and then we will keep going.
Actually, it is raining out, so I should go see if there are packages. I will be
Yes,
right
go ahead and go
back.
check packages. I am right now just updating social media. I'm trying to get better about that. It's definitely something I need to spend more time on. And so just sending this out real quick, and then I will be getting back to the game, and we'll be asking about accessibility issues in her life now with using a wheelchair, since unfortunately this world still isn't very accessible to people with mobility issues. And so it's definitely something she has been wanting to talk about. So yeah, you're interested in learning more about wheelchair usage, the modern day. Mario Maker. Also take your levels for charity. Remember to say that. Mario Maker, hashtag Twitch girls, you know, you gotta do all the hashtags, because that's how you get the clout. I know what I'm doing. ISO. This is good. Alright, there we go. That on there. Alright. Or later as well. We got that. Is there anything else I need to do before we go back into this? I think we're good to go. Why is this not playing that one? It's waiting to play that one? It's from 9:58 though. Hold on a second. I don't understand quite why one of these loots has not played. I'm fairly sure I have every screen has the sponsored in it. I'm gonna check real quick. Oh, no, that's not the right one. That's not the right one either. Not that one either. Where is it? There it goes. Okay, so we need to make sure on this as well that we have sponsored messaging. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna add this to the stream real quick, or actually I'll go back to this one. Need to make sure we have that on there, since it doesn't work, unfortunately, unless we have it added. Yes, thank you very much as well, everybody that's given bits today, subscribe today, and send loots. I very much do appreciate it as well. This definitely helps out. Alright, let's add it to karaoke time. Throw that on there.
did in fact get a package.
You got a package? Do you want to show it on screen? Okay.
Sure, I'll open it on stream.
Okay. Let me go and pull this up.
There's only one for now. I'm guessing it's a different.
We're getting a. Hold on a second. We are getting a raid. Chibi Demon raiding with a party of 3. Thank you very much, Chibi Demon, for that raid. I do appreciate it. Hey Blackbird, how are you doing today? We will.
Time for this?
Yeah, you are just in time for the package. We'll open the package and then I will do the song as well for those of you unfamiliar. Whenever we get a raid or a host, yeah, please don't dox yourself. Whenever we get a raid or a host or donations, we perform a little bit of a song on my trusty ukulele here. And as a reminder, y'all, if you want to ask any questions to myself or to Megan as well, overlay right here. You can ask a question. Yeah. So, all right, what's in the box, Megan?
Oh, am I gonna open this now?
Yeah, if you want to.
All right.
We'll do the song after it. All right, let's see what we got in here. It's exciting. What's in the box? Oh my gosh, that movie. It is by Soul Sing, so it's unpredictable. That is true. Okay.
Oh gosh. I might need. Wait. I have some scissors somewhere.
Go ahead and do your thing. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Where did I put those scissors? Oh gosh.
Hold on a second.
Oh, I found them. Cool. Let's use the scissors carefully.
Being asked to DM someone.
Ah, my hands don't want to do the thing. There we go. We got one side. Can I rip the other one?
Alright. You can do this. You can do this. Alright. Can we get some claps in the chat? Can we get some hype in the chat? We can do this.
Okay.
We can do this! Alright, please don't dox yourself.
Yeah.
I think we're good. But
We got 2 more pieces of cardboard in the box.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
I have to do this carefully. Maybe. We're getting some hype.
Getting some hype in the chat for Megan here is awesome. Cardboard
scissors
hype.
Do the thing.
Scissors, please do the thing. Well.
Can I pry it open? This is taking so long. Oh my
I know, right? It's okay. Take your time.
Sorry.
You are A-okay. I'm just checking something through Loots right now because I don't think something's working.
Okay. Oh my gosh, we have 3 more sides of tape.
Oh my gosh, Soulsting really wants you to work for this. Or actually, no, not Soulsting. Someone unfamiliar who didn't send you anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on. It's not working. I don't know why this is saying waiting.
Okay. Can I
What is it?
See what it is. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
What is it? Okay, turn on your Wi-Fi. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
What is it, Megan? Oh my gosh! That's amazing!
No.
Oh my gosh, and I'm guessing that's what the frame's for, right?
Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing. It's Rosie. So, for those of you unfamiliar, Rosie was Megan's dog. Unfortunately, she passed away earlier this week due to a heart condition, which we're very much missing
So good.
her now.
It's so good. Oh.
I'm really happy for you.
My first time crying on stream.
There we go. Can we get a happy cry for Megan in the chat? Oh, hey, Scoots, by the way. Yeah, there was...
So my dog heard me crying, and so he came.
Good, I'm glad.
Hi.
Which, speaking of which, oh, I forgot to do what I wanted to do for this today. We'll show it on Monday. I do want to set that up as well, but we will be taking an opportunity after on the next break as well to show these, since we do have a nice list of videos that of which depict Megan's doggies, Rosie especially, as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that you got that as well. Yeah, and this is Dainty. I cry all the time on stream. So yeah, no, don't worry. I cry all the time on stream as well. We have a happy count, which I'll count this as a happy cry because this is really nice. So I'm Scoots. Thank you, Scoots, for supporting me as well with this. I think this is something we can definitely. We hit on our followers in the channel, so I'm currently setting the calendar. Awesome. By the way, y'all, if you're not already, please go follow the Good Vibes Tribe Twitch channel as well up there. It's actually a bit small. I'm going to make that bigger. But yeah, we have hit the 100 followers now, so we will be streaming to that. We will be setting up that calendar. I'm very excited for that as well. But yeah, so.
Marcy, if you could put a marker, please.
Marker here? Yes, I can. Would you like this clip later?
Yeah.
I'll grab this clip for you.
Also for Soul Sting.
Gotcha.
Hi. I'm Dainty. It me.
Hello. This is Dainty. This is Megan. She is one of the mods here. She is amazing. She's beautiful. She's lovely. She's one of the people that makes this stream possible as well, and she's so gracious to be able to come on and talk with us today and do this interview with us, which Megan, we can continue on with that as well once you're feeling ready and able to go. Hello, Duffy. Hi, Duffy. You're on screen.
He's looking out the window.
Oh my gosh. Okay, can
you lay down? Lay down.
Hold on. I need to.
Good boy. There you go. Good boy.
Hold on a second. I want that tiny Skype window to go away. Okay, so I need to go to,
Hi, Bucky.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually turn off the cam for a second because I need to mess with some settings. Please, doggy, don't show your butt. Yeah, we gotta keep this PG, y'all. Butts are not PG. Oh, by the way, Chibi, if you're still here, at the very least, we will do this. Thank you very much, Chibi Demon, for your raid in my stream this morning. I appreciate you, and you're great. And I'm gonna go faster because this is good. Alright. Thank you, Chibi, for that raid. I do appreciate it. I need to change a setting real quick because I keep having this thing come up, and that's definitely a booty butt. I don't like it. So, but yeah, we will go ahead, and the question that you asked, Megan, I definitely want to, ask as well. So hold on.
Duffy,
where is
Duffy? Is the dog here? He's a golden retriever.
Oh, nice.
He's a good boy.
Aww.
He's a good boy. He came because he heard me crying, which he does every time. But he's now staying because I have half of a pink champagne cupcake here.
Gotcha. Alright, I'm trying to... How do I disable this? I'm trying to figure this out. If I can't figure this out, it's fine. We'll just have it show up.
You're a good boy. He definitely, whenever anyone is crying, he comes running.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah, and he knows, like, if I'm having some bad anxiety, he knows if he needs to come and just lay close to me, or sometimes he'll even just be a clown and, like, play with his toys so that I look and get happy. A Labrador Retriever is different from a Golden Retriever.
How so?
But they're very similar. Like, Labradors have a shorter coat most of the time, and it's more silky, whereas Golden Retrievers have more of a fluffy coat, and it's longer and curly.
Gotcha.
Marcy, do you see him now?
Hold on a second. I was responding to something I have here. Boop. There we go. Actually, hold on. Boop. Let's not have that up. Let's check that off. Yeah. Lavender girl and the same dog, different color. No. Okay, yeah. So there is a difference there. So no doggy butt. We're gonna go ahead and turn this off because I don't want this. It's fine. I mean, it's nothing bad there. I just want that there. There we go. We need more Megan. We need more Megan's beautiful face in here. And Duffy. Duffy's beautiful face. So sorry, Megan. All right, but we can go ahead and continue now as well if you want to continue the interview now.
Yeah.
All right. So then first off, let me make sure everything's still working because I was just changing some settings. I don't know why this isn't going. But
Golden's essentially, like, there's a range of them. Like, Duffy is a pretty dark golden. Some of them can even be nearly white colored. But
gotcha.
He's trying to be cute now. He has his head down all cute. Like, please give me cupcake.
Aw, that is cute. Wait, I'm trying to move this window because I didn't realize we had a pop-up window for this. So cool. I'll have access to this now. But yeah, as a reminder, y'all, we are raising money for charity. This is all going to, not all, 50% of this is going towards the Rainbow Center as well. It's the Tacoma Rainbow Center is a local organization that provides resources to queer folk in the area. It's an organization that I have personally benefited from. And if we hit our goal today of $20 in donations as well, which actually I should say it's at $250, not $125. That was my mistake. If we hit that goal as well, we will be doing a Penga level on stream. We will be doing viewer levels very shortly as well. And if you want to submit those, we have Warpbot set up. And so you can definitely come and submit those. We do allow people as well. No, not even followers. You can just be... anybody can submit a level. You get one level. Once we beat the level, you can submit another one. But if you want to skip the queue or if you want to do another level, it's $2.50 donation, either through bits or just a direct donation. Or if you want to skip the queue and have your level be played first, it's a $5 donation. Also for $5, I will be doing Twitch Sings as well. I will do any song up to Twitch Sings within reason. I won't do mature songs or songs with very inappropriate themes or bad language. But yes, multiple ways to donate on here, and it does go to support a great organization as well. So let me update the donation title real quick. Today's Queer Talk Friday donation. So 20. This is 2.5 we already have, and then it's 05/25/2019. Okay, and we have 3 more hours on the stream today as well. And so, how are you at Kaizo? I am actually a Super Mario World Kaizo player by trade. I'm new to Mario Maker, but I can do some of the tricks already. I have been learning, so no Blackbird, bad. No, we will not do that. They're trying to get me to play hard levels, so yeah. But we will definitely be playing. If you want to have a hard level submitted, definitely do it. What charity is it? Right here. We do have a command for it. Are you laughing at me? No, I was laughing at the chat. Or they're laughing at me in my response. Unless you're feeding your dog, then they could be laughing at you. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on. I was asking if
Blackbird was laughing at me because I let Duffy lick the plate, and then I went...
And by the way, welcome back, Pac-Man Boss. Hope you're having a good day. That was earlier as well. Mostly sub 3. I was laughing at Marcy saying no. Oh, that's fair. All right, let's go ahead and switch back over to Mario Maker. And let's go ahead and I'll ask that question. Let me pull up Discord real quick. So we've been talking about wheelchairs and just the discrimination that you face, but it's a lot more. Living in a wheelchair, using a wheelchair, not living in a wheelchair, using a wheelchair is a lot more than just, the discrimination you face. Accessibility is a major pain, a major issue, especially just since the world is kind of lacking. It feels as if just, I don't personally have this, so I probably don't even notice all the ways that places are inaccessible, and I'm sure Megan can describe a lot more of that. So yeah, let's just what about the struggles in besides that, just accessibility in this world, existing in this world, and having to occasionally use this? How is it like? What is it like to have to do that?
It's rough. A lot of stores, they might seem like they're all right, but you get a wheelchair in there and excuse me. There's a lot of areas that it's like hard to move around. Like I've had the employees have to like move things around, like the things like clothes are hanging on. There's some stores that I just cannot get into, and I have to say, like, I have a pretty small wheelchair too, because I'm small, I'm dainty. So
that's true. Like, would you be willing to show your wheelchair as well on stream by chance?
It is in the garage right now.
Okay. If you want to later, I'd appreciate it, because I'm interested to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know when, and I'll make your cam bigger as well. Hello, McLevin, by the way. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, so please continue, Megan.
I think the worst experience I had in a store was when I couldn't get through areas, and I asked the people that were with me, asked the employees like if they'd be able to help, and they said there's room for her at the front of the store. Like they were trying to say like, oh, you can just sit at the front of the store while you guys shop. And it's like, I was there to shop.
So wait, they were outright just telling you like, oh wait,
there's room for you to sit up there.
So wait, what were you asking again? I didn't quite hear what you were asking them.
We were asking if they could move stuff around so that I could get through the store.
And their response to that was, well, you can just go sit in the front, which completely defeats the
Yeah.
purpose. So, yeah,
Yeah.
leave your friend at the entrance. Yikes. I didn't even think about like what you were saying, having to navigate stores, because I don't use a wheelchair, but I have a bigger body. I'm 6 foot. I'm kind of a wide girl, and so I have my own issues where things like areas will be too tight and I have to squeeze through there. I cannot imagine how it must be when you have a machine that of which you're using as well to be able to move through there. So,
and the thing is, sometimes it's not even that it's wide, it's that it's long, because from the handles to where the footrests are, it's pretty long. And so it can be hard to like try to turn around stuff, because the where the feet sit will bump into stuff. Another issue is, I've said about this a couple times just to Marcy. Going in a downtown area where they originally built like a step or two up to the shops, and having to have someone go inside and ask the employee, like, where's your handicap ramp, or where's your accessibility ramp, every single time for every place you go into, it's a little tiring, but it's still worth it. But the people I was with when that was happening, they were sick of it. Like, they didn't even want to do anything anymore in that downtown area, which was really upsetting to me. The absolute worst experience I had using a wheelchair and being denied something was when I was with Lee and we went to London. It started out really good because the area on the train that we took where the wheelchairs were was in first class. So we got bumped up to first class, like wheelchair perks. So that was nice. But yeah. We had to keep getting taxis to go around London because there weren't elevators at every station for the subway, the tube as they call it.
The tube, yes.
Which was fine, but at the end of the night we were on a busier road, and Lee was trying to wave a taxi down, and they would turn off their availability light once they saw that I was in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
Like, there was no... We were walking around for 45 minutes trying to get a taxi to stop. And the second that I stood up and tried to wave one down myself, it stopped. After 45 minutes.
Oh my god.
And then they saw me sit back down and they were like, oh, you have to be on the other side of the road or something like that for the way that you're going. And then they drove away.
Wow, that's horrible. That's terrible. Like, does your what kind of wheelchair do you have? Is it something that like folds it down? Like, I'm not too sure with wheelchairs and how they work, but you have to go, Dub. No problem. Have a good day, Dub.
I can head out to the garage right now and show you.
Sure. Okay.
What it is. It does.
I think that would give us a good idea of what we're talking about here.
Let me grab some slippers.
Sure.
Duffy's probably gonna try to come along too.
Bring him for the ride. Definitely bring him for the ride.
Why not? Don't say that word. If
Duffy
no. Hears that word.
Oh no, don't.
Crazy.
Well, it wasn't like he was even listening to me the other day, so I was trying to get Duffy's attention. Duffy, hi, hello. Hi, Duffy. I love you. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't like me. I'm not his friend.
He's coming.
Good, he's coming.
He's
all right. Hi, Duffy.
Also, it is absolutely pouring outside right now.
Oof.
Nice.
I can't hear it.
There.
Actually, no, I can't hear it. Ooh, yeah, that's pouring. Wow. That is a lot of water. Who's a good dog? Gosh, who's a good dog?
Turn back around, camera, please. Okay. So... Uh-oh. It's behind a bike.
Oh no.
Right now. It's back here.
Oh no. Are you able to move that?
I can. I just don't know if I'll be able to get it back in place. So I'll try to show it what it's like folded up. It's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty small once it's folded up, but as you can see, like the feet go out a ways from the handles all the way back here.
That's what I figured it'd probably look like, but gotcha. Yeah. So that doesn't look like it takes up a ton of space, but it definitely, takes up space.
When it is opened, there's not a whole lot of room next to me in it. I can maybe fit like a purse next to me, if that gives an idea of like how wide it is.
Okay, so it does take up some space.
A dainty plus a purse.
Yeah.
Duffy.
Gotcha.
Good boy. Gotcha. Yeah, so it's not that big.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that big.
The thing that was so frustrating about being in London was that every single taxi has a ramp that they can put out for you to go up in, and I didn't even need that. I didn't even need them to get the ramp out. I just needed to stand up, have me fold the chair, and slide it in next to us in the taxi.
Oh my gosh! So it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that they couldn't accommodate you; they just didn't want to.
Yeah.
Wow. That's. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Thankfully, there was a very, very kind woman who stopped because I was having a full-on breakdown. Like just sobbing in the streets of London. And she said, "Oh, my brother is a paraplegic. Like he can't feel from. I think it's either paraplegic or quadriplegic. I don't remember."
Okay.
She said it can be a nightmare trying to use a wheelchair in the city. The best option is to go into a small side street where they'd be more likely to stop.
Interesting.
Because it wouldn't be as busy of an area. And we went into a side street, and within 3 minutes,
it wouldn't be as what of an area? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
It wouldn't be as busy of an area.
And so you were like, there was definitely. I'm guessing you were making it sound as if there was competition, and they were just choosing to go to other people instead of you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then once you went to a less busy area, they're more likely to come pick you up. Okay, I get you. But still, jeez, that's so just... It sounds so frustrating.
Oh, it was. Like, I completely broke down, and it was miserable. And
yeah, it sounds like
this kind woman, I wish I could have given her a hug, because she just helped so much. And within 3 minutes of going down this, like, smaller side street, someone stopped for us.
I'm glad to hear that. So, I'm glad you did eventually find someone, but is this something that's happened more than once, or is this just kind of a standout instance?
It was... We were only in London for one day, like one kind of half of a day. And so that's... All the other taxis that we were able to get, because of where we were areas where taxis were already stopped and, like, waiting for people. Whereas we were trying to call one on the side of the road.
Gotcha. That's... I'm sorry to hear you've gone through that. And I hadn't... Yeah. Again, another thing that I would have never thought about, just having to deal with a wheelchair. 'Cause it's just, like... I think, issues with wheelchairs, and it's like, oh, like, ramps, trying to get into places and stuff like that. But it's not just, the physical situation in terms of accessibility. There's people that just don't care to give you accessibility.
Yeah.
So they had you to that. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Oh, no, it came... Oh, no. Okay, thank you, Dainty. Yes. The meme doesn't stop for Queer Talk. But, yeah, so that's quite... I don't know what to say to that, just...
The other thing is how often people literally don't see me.
See you in terms of...
And just walk right into my chair. Like, I get bumped into all the time. I counted one time we were out for...
Or...
Yeah. And they're just not looking.
Oh, okay.
We were out for 2 hours. I counted the amount of times that someone ran into my chair. Like, ran into either the side or something. It was, like, 45 times.
Oh, wow. That's
really bad.
45 times people just walked right into you, bumped into you, because they just weren't even paying attention. That's... Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I
And like part of me thinks like, well, I could
astonishing.
get a taller flag to go in my wheelchair, but it's like I don't want to draw more attention to me like
Yeah,
that.
no, really. It's just like you're
That's
kind of in the
not what I.
situation of danged if you
Yeah,
do, danged if you don't. Like, there's no easy way to solve that. So,
yeah,
I'm so sorry to hear this. I was completely unaware of that. Yeah, it's on top of not wanting to pay like have more people get drawn your attention to. On top of that's on
mhm,
top of having to deal with the fact that you're not wheelchair bound. Like you do need to use it at times,
yeah,
but it's not 100% you need to use this to get around. It's just any more attention being drawn to you could be, it could really not work out well for you. So
yeah. It's a weird thing how, like, I know a lot of people are gonna be looking at me, so I almost want to like dress up and do my makeup
oh my gosh.
pretty. People are gonna be looking at me,
Mm-hmm.
or trying to wear, like people will stare at me, and I will just act like I'm on a chariot leading the way.
Oh my gosh.
People are
Yes.
just staring at me, so I'll just be like, "We're going."
Awesome. Yes,
So
definitely do that.
I try to make it as fun as I can to kind of cope with
Yeah.
all the extra glares that I get and stuff.
It's about all you can do, I feel, in your situation as well, is just to try to own it and not let it get
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
So, ugh, give me a second. I hate wearing a wire bra, but I gotta. So, yep. Yeah. So, anything else in terms of just accessibility on that point that you want to talk about, or you want to move on?
We could kind of segue into the accessible stalls,
Ooh,
like
yes.
bathroom
Okay.
stalls and
Yeah, because we definitely talked
cleaning.
about we also touched on wheelchair friendly environments. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that topic as well, or
No,
okay? Then yeah.
once people see me, they mostly do a good job of like looking out for me and like making a way for me to go through. But it's
I
just
hope
the
so.
amount of times that people aren't even. It's like it's not even a thought in their mind that I could be there, and it's weird because like you don't see little kids getting knocked around,
Mm-hmm. Oh
but for
yeah,
some
no.
reason my uh,
It's like they just tune you out or something. Huh.
like they're yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I think about that like why don't kids get knocked over all the time by
Mm-hmm.
people, but people walk into my wheelchair all the time. Like what if anything
Yeah.
it'd be easier to see me, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Maybe because
uh,
children move quicker, I don't know.
maybe, but it's just as you described this as well. It's not even necessarily not always consciously, but it does seem like consciously and or unconsciously and consciously people just try to tune you out and pretend you don't exist.
Mhm.
Like with
Mhm.
taxis you were describing, being bumped into, store people just being like, "Yeah, just go sit in the front." It's just like, jeez.
Yeah. I still can't believe they were even turning off their lights.
Yeah,
Like the
really.
taxis have the lights up on top, and if they're off, they have someone in there.
Hmm.
But they didn't have anyone, and they were just turning them off once they saw me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
This is
that's
so crazy.
yeah. So I
Like
guess.
I didn't
Oh,
even
sorry.
realize how bad it was
Hmm.
until I've lived it.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I think that's fairly common for everyone. Like you are introducing me to a lot of things today that it's just like I was completely unaware that this was stuff that people like you in your situation
Yeah.
face. So yeah, I think then yeah, this would be a good opportunity to segue into then accessible bathrooms.
Mhm.
Accessible
And
bathrooms and
changing
changing
rooms.
rooms. Yes. So yeah, yeah. Why don't you free talk about that? I'm not too sure
It's
since you wrote the list. I'm not too sure where you want to go with it, but yeah, feel free. Let's start on that one.
it's a little bit of a tricky one
Mm-hmm.
because I am someone with invisible illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
and so there could be a lot of people that use those who have a hard time like sitting down,
Mm-hmm.
and so they need the railing. I imagine one of the factors of people bumping into you is just a level of willingness to ignore among the public. That's fair,
Probably, but it's
but it's also like, why is it like that?
yeah, exactly.
You know. Um. So yeah, I know there are people with invisible illnesses that need to use those, but the times where I've seen people like come out of those or hear them going in, they've consciously said like to the person next to him, like there was one time in particular. Yeah, there's no excusing it. I knew you were trying to say that. Yeah. Um The one time I remember someone using the changing room when they clearly shouldn't have is when a girl who I would guess was around like 13 or 14 wanted her mom to just go in there with her, so they took the handicapped changing room, and I was sitting there in my wheelchair, like waiting to go in.
Gotcha.
And part of me wanted to be really petty and just go like right up next to the door so they'd open it and I'd be right there. But like, there's no point.
Yeah,
I mean, it just feels like there's no point to.
And also, okay, so I have a personal question I want to ask to this, just in terms of what your opinion on this. Just specifically that I am someone that will generally use, you know, the more accessible stalls, the bigger stalls, mainly because I have issues with just, you know, dyspraxia, in terms of I have a bigger body and I am very clumsy and I'll tend to bump into things, and it can be, the smaller stalls for me can be very difficult to be in, because it's like I have a hard time just being able to move around it. Is something like that something that you feel would be appropriate for the bigger stall?
Valid reason to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem I have is that when, I don't know about anyone else, but if I was Dainty Turtle, I'd
that is true,
really
Soulsting.
Great. Soulsting, I don't know if you were here, but I got the package and I opened it, and I think Marcy is going to
there is a marker.
Later.
I will grab that clip later, or that highlight specifically.
Yes, I did totally cry on stream for the first time.
It was great.
I mean, the package that's not from you. The one that's totally not from you. Yep, that one.
This is, so the reason I asked this as well is just as someone who, I struggle with this as, in terms of the invisible illness type thing. I often feel as if, like, I'm kind of a fraud, or I'm taking away from other people that may use it, when at the same time it's just, like, I know, like, there's my hallway right there, next to my room. It's super often where I'll try to walk through it, and there's like this much space in it, like that's totally fine for me to fit into it, but it's super often where I'll like scrape my arms and they'll get all red, or like in pain, or hit my hands or something like that, because it's hard for me to move into those spaces. And I'm at the point where it's just like, I want to be able to use these things because it's safer for me and it's easier for me to do this, but at the same time I don't want to get into a situation which someone's just like, why are you doing that type of thing. And which I would say I feel like maybe I'm wrong here, but would you say it's more common for people that don't have these conditions, these illnesses, to be like quick to judge other people and be like, you shouldn't do that, or you're faking it, versus other people that have these? Or do you know what I'm quite asking?
It's hard to say. I think it's both.
Okay.
Soulsting, I really do like it. I'm really glad that you did that for me and my family. I'm sure my mom is probably going to cry when she sees it as well.
Probably.
We'll have to decide where to hang it up, but I really, really like it. It's so good, and
really glad.
It captures her really well. Okay. Anyways.
Love you, Megan. It's okay. It's okay to experience emotions right now. This is... So, you're giving me my own idea as well that I need to write down for later. But,
So, I recognize there's a lot of people that would use the accessible changing rooms and bathrooms, and I would never question anyone that does unless I had evidence to prove otherwise, like the lady and her girl that used the one changing room.
Yeah.
I've been called out before. I think we might touch on this later, but using the accessible parking spaces.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this before as well.
I had a line in mind of what I would say to someone if they questioned me, and I unfortunately had to use it, but I'm still proud of it because it was good.
Yeah, we can finish. We can talk about that next after. I don't know how much more you want to talk about bathrooms and changing rooms, but
I was questioned for using that spot, and I had my parking pass there with me. Like, it has my birthday on it. There's no way they would know that's my birthday. But like they do that for when it expires.
Gotcha.
They said, you don't look very disabled. And I was like, well, you don't look very ignorant, but I guess we're both wrong.
Yes! I'm gonna put some hype in the chat for that, because that is 100%. Yes, I love that. That's awesome. I'm gonna steal that myself.
Mm-hmm.
That is perfect to say. Got him. Yes, that's
Yeah,
a good
got him.
good opportunity
That's
for
how
got him.
got him.
Yeah. So I'm very glad that we had that
That's
comeback. That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so it sucked they asked me, but I felt fine with dealing with it
Gotcha.
because of that. I will say that was not my original line either. I did take that from someone off of a support group.
Oh, okay. That's okay too.
But yeah. It's just weird how like why what makes them feel it's their right to question it? Like do they not know?
I guess. I mean,
It's
I can probably take a guess at this answer if you want.
yeah, go for it.
I would say maybe it just comes from this idea of maybe they see you as like taking advantage of the situation and doing something to get ahead of them, and maybe they just feel offended, like this person that seems like me that doesn't need to be using this is using this, and therefore I feel what's the word, not taken advantage
Righteous.
of, but like not maybe righteous, just being like,
Like
oh,
righteous asking, like saying something about it.
what'd you say?
Righteous and like saying something about it.
Yeah, something like that, just being like, like, oh, I'm not doing this, therefore you shouldn't do this type thing. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't, I'm not going to do this because I'm better than you. And it makes them probably feel good to call you out as well. That could be
Mhm.
definitely a portion of that. So, hold on. Yeah, we'll go ahead and allow that for today. Generally don't allow words like that, but it's whatever. It's today. So, but yeah,
I don't necessarily think that is a swear word. But
I grew up with
yeah.
that, so that's why. But anyways, yeah, maybe I think
Okay.
maybe it just comes from this like, oh, like I'm gonna feel morally good if I call someone out or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's really,
Yeah.
so I don't see why else. But yeah. Do you wanna Do you wanna move up this then and talk about just handicap parking spot? All right, no, you're just starting to talk about handicap parking spots as well. It's a segue. But yeah, just anything else on this you want to talk about then? Anything else I'm not thinking of right now, since
Um.
I don't really know
I
what
mean,
to
the
quite
reason
ask
I
about
have
these
one is
days.
because I use a wheelchair sometimes, and also, like, if it's hot out, I can't be outside for that long.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because of the pods, but also
Mm-hmm.
I am super sensitive to the sun,
Mm-hmm.
to the like because of the autoimmune disease. If I'm in the sun, my body will think it's being attacked and attack itself
Oh,
essentially,
jeez.
and so I get really
Didn't
really
skip
sick
that
if
one.
I go in the sun
Mm-hmm.
for very long at all, and
Gotcha.
so I need those spaces.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I
So
mean,
yeah,
I think people see the disability sign, and I think maybe part of it is just the fact that most disability like tags that I've seen always depict someone in a wheelchair, and I think people just automatically
yeah,
assume that, okay, then this is only for wheelchair users,
yeah.
but which is inaccurate.
They either picture someone in a wheelchair or like an older person, and they
Yeah,
think that's the only acceptable thing for people to use that. And
people will just be like,
it's
"Oh,
not true at
you're a
all.
kid. How can you be disabled if you're, this young, this
I've
old?"
had
So,
people say to me like, "You're so young. How can you know how how can you say you're so tired, or how can you say you're in so much pain?" It's
mm-hmm.
like, what do you think that has to do with anything?
Yeah, like
Just
it's,
because
yeah.
I'm 19 means that I don't know what exhausted is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me
People say
either.
weird things.
People are weird like that. It's just like you can't stop them. They'll just do stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got another 10 minutes before we're gonna take another break. But do you want to move on to another question, or is there anything else on this topic that you want to talk about?
I think that's about it for that
Okay,
topic. I don't think I have anything to say about it.
sure.
If anyone
Then,
has any questions about anything that's been mentioned, feel free to ask them. Yeah, Skittles. I had
mm-hmm.
actually we could talk about this next
Sure.
about school, but there was a time where I was doing online classes and I would go in to school for some of those
Mm-hmm.
to work at the computers there and have the teacher there. But the area I was in the office is where kids get sent, like if they're in trouble. And so there were a few times where teachers said things to me, like I needed to lay my head down on the desk for a minute. And they said, "Oh, you're so tired. Like, poor you," like
Mm-hmm.
making fun of me and
Mm-hmm.
saying, like, "Get back to work." And it was like, it, uh, it was so frustrating and like confusing why this teacher who doesn't know the situation at all just decided, like, oh, they must be like kicked out of class and just trying to slack off.
Mm-hmm.
Not that at all.
I I was always tired as a kid
I
as well, and it wasn't because I wasn't wanting to pay attention. It was just I was literally tired, and nothing I would do would help it. So I feel you there.
Yeah, and I told my mom about it, and she let my counselor know, and the principal ended up talking to that teacher,
Nice.
luckily. But there are a lot of times where if people like me do speak up, no one really listens. Like the school doesn't really listen. But I luckily had a legal 504, which is like a legal document stating
Mm-hmm.
these are the reasons that I would need to rest for a bit or not have school or refuse to take a test.
Oh, and what was this document called?
A legal 504.
Legal 504.
Yeah.
Legal 504 to show why she needs breaks and time off at school.
Mhm. So yeah, like it started out with the migraine. So if I had a migraine, then I couldn't take a test.
Hi, Dicey.
But now the teacher would listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
So um, then I had that document saying that. Another thing was, we weren't allowed to wear hats in school, but
Mm-hmm.
because of a syndrome that I have called Raynaud's, if I get
Raynaud's,
really
yes.
cold, my hands will go purple and they don't want to move. And so I was allowed to wear hat and gloves in school, even though it was normally against the code.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. That's I also want to add another point on this as well, so especially since what Scoots is talking about too. It's
Mm-hmm.
this is something that I've heard. I mean, it's a very common thing. I'm sure you have all heard about this. I know my dad's talked about this as well, where this idea that, oh, this generation is so lazy, or this generation is just like, they're so like gratification first, and they just want everything and expect everything to come to them.
Yeah.
Like the idea of, oh, these kids were getting participation trophies and stuff like that, so they're not prepared for the real world, or that's what they expect. And oftentimes it like this, and what they're talking about, I just really want to be like, you do realize it was your generation that was doing that to us. We were children. We didn't choose to do this. You are
Yeah.
blaming us for how we grew and like where we're at maturity wise and what we're able to handle, when
Yeah.
you were the ones that were supposed to prepare us. And it's just this gaslighting that's happening to our generation. And it's the same thing. It goes with
Yeah.
age and the disability as well. When especially when you're younger, it's just like, oh, you can't experience pain, or you can't know what tired is because you're not like me. You're not my age. And it's just this pervasive ignorance. This idea that I wasn't this way when you were a kid, so why can't you be not like that? And it's just not how
Yeah.
that works. Okay.
Well, saying that makes a lot of sense. Like that doesn't surprise me at all. It sucks that the teachers wouldn't, that like the ones that
Yep.
didn't let you fidget and like handle things how you needed to.
Yep.
But
I was the
yeah,
same way as well.
there was one time when I so the last high school that I went to,
Mm-hmm.
they had 4 different floors.
Mm-hmm.
It was an old apartment building, if I recall correctly. And so they had an elevator that I was allowed to use. I had an elevator pass. But there was one day I did decide to take the stairs, and I was going slowly, like my legs were shaking as I was trying to go down the stairs.
Oh,
But
jeez.
this teacher saw me holding my phone, and they were like, "Get off your phone, hurry up, get to class." And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Jeez.
I actually like had the energy and courage to try to take the stairs, and you're gonna tell me to hurry up?
I'm sorry.
All right, I guess I'll take the elevator instead. Oh my gosh.
All right, we're gonna go ahead
It was,
and hold on. Were you saying something else, Megan?
it was just so frustrating that that's the attitude they had
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's like, oh, you're on your damn phone, get off.
Yeah, really. That sounds really frustrating. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're going to be taking a quick break. Turn off this webcam here. We'll be back in a few minutes. I want to take a moment to remind you all as well, if you want to have a message show up on screen, you want to help support the stream in a way that's not monetary, you can feel free to go to the Loots link down there, it'll have a message show up on the left and also play a short, brief ad to also bring some revenue here. We are raising money for charity today for the organization, specifically the Tacoma Rainbow Center. It is a local organization for myself that helps queer people in the area get access to resources and is a safe place for us. So if we hit our donation goal of $20 today, we will be playing a Penga level on stream as well. I have a few in mind that I'll look at to be able to do, and I'm not too great at Mario Maker yet, so it'll be very interesting. But 50% of all the donations and money gained from today will be going to the Rainbow Center as well. We are also doing levels. We'll be doing viewer levels once we get back. That's why I just have it pulled up now. And 1 level per person. Once that level is complete, you can submit another one, but if you want to continue to submit extra levels into the queue, it'll be a $2.50 donation as well. If you want to have your level be played and skip the queue, we will expect a $5 donation can do that. Or if you'd like me to perform a Twitch sing song as well on stream, because I am a bit of a singer and I do have that set up, $5 donation as well. And go to that, and while we are gone, the overlay here, you can feel free to ask us questions directly as well, and we will get them and we'll be able to answer them once we get back for the stream currency that we have. I'll go ahead and for all of you here, I'll give you enough coins as well. If you want to ask a question through here, ask a question. But yeah, we will be right back after my restroom break and just the break that we have. But yeah, so enjoy the music and we will BRB. Alright. Oh, we are back. Oop, wrong one. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Oh, we got another Loots message. I don't think I quite saw this one. I'll go ahead and check. Thank you for the welcome backs. A place where you gather and greet people, a sup port. That's wild. Okay. Thank you, Annie, for that Loots. I do appreciate it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start doing viewer levels, and Dainty and I, Megan and I, not too sure where we will want to steer the conversation next, and so we're gonna go ahead and just, we will take any open questions now, just to continue on. We're gonna start, I'll go ahead and load up a viewer level as well, but, yeah, so here, I'll turn off the music. From here on out, Megan, you're also back on. Let me put on the Skype capture. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and open it up to you all. If you have any questions you want to ask either of us as well, you know, it doesn't necessarily, at this point, doesn't necessarily have to be directly related to Dainty, Megan's experiences as well. It could be anything about just health issues, mental health, physical health, queerness, etc. These are, it's open now until, you know, we brainstorm more things to interview about. So, which thank you very much, Megan, for being here today and doing this talk as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and load up the first one. Do you all like potatoes? They're okay. Not my favorite. I don't really eat them just by themselves. So
if anyone heard that hiccup, that was
go ahead and
due to a valve in my heart that didn't close all the way.
Interesting.
And so instead of the blood going in and being closed off for more blood to then let in, it would open up a little bit and someone would go back out the wrong way, causing me to hiccup like that. A single hiccup, really high pitched, any time of the day.
That's not dangerous or anything, is it?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Like that's the only symptom I have of it.
Interesting. Is a valve in your heart or in your lungs, you say?
In my heart.
Interesting. Why would a valve in your heart acting up cause you to hiccup? That seems strange.
It's going by my airway, I guess. My cardiologist explained it. I don't fully remember what he said because this was a couple of years ago.
Gotcha.
When he explained it, but yeah.
No idea what to do on this level. Yeah. Also, I will be. We have the timer at the top as well. I'm gonna go ahead and reset that timer, but we'll be doing 10 minutes per level as well, just to be able to get through them. Though don't have too many levels, fortunately.
Lee's level.
Yeah, this is Lee's level.
You have to time it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I know. I get you. I figured it was that. So okay. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull this up. But yeah, this is questions are open. So let's see. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna take a moment just to find a URL as well.
Mine isn't a heart murmur. It's actually called a
I hope it's not a heart murmur.
valve. It's a mitral valve prolapse.
What is that?
The valve, like what I explained about the blood going the wrong way back to the valve.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. Gotcha. Is the blood when it goes back the other way? Is it doing something like just quickly like restricting the airflow or something like that, or? I
don't know. I just know that my cardiologist said that's why that happens.
Gotcha. That's fair. That I getcha. So here, let's grab sound effect real quick as well. But yeah. So, give me 1 second, chat. I can't quite see right now because I'm grabbing something, but, what do I want to use? Okay, I'll use this one. That's a good one. That one's silly. Grab this, well, copy. Well, this should work.
Okay, I'll drink some water, baby.
Oop, not that. Mistake. Hold on, where? Hold on. Oh, I think I did the wrong one. I think I need copy ID. Okay, never mind. We'll leave that up. We'll go back to the level. We're gonna do that. Let me get back through this. Here's cooked. I don't understand how hookups work to begin with. That's fair. The same thing with Valhalla opening slightly. Okay, yeah, Heart Murmur. That's a different thing. From what I know as well. Let me quick check to see if I don't think anything has been redeemed, but I do want to check just in case. Right. Coffee. Nothing yet. That's a-okay. But yeah, all questions now are being taken on anything queerness, disability related, etc. So yeah, and it can be addressed to either of us as well. The loots is also another good way to do that too. So let's go ahead and get started on these viewer levels. This first one is by Look at Mr. Lee, who is also Megan's boyfriend as well. He's a friend. So okay, so I'm trying to.
Oh, you got rid of a bunch of the redeem stuff.
Wait, what?
You got rid of a bunch of the redeem stuff?
Yeah, I went and accepted them all. So, wait, was there how did you know?
No, like the list of stuff like permanent mod and other things like that.
Oh yeah, I removed a lot of them from it just because it was cluttering it up. So I'll reinstate them later, but I do need to do some cleanup on that later. So
I kind of like how at the moment, personally. But
you what?
I like how it is at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Good. So it's a work in progress. I mean, all of that is a work in progress. Like the stream is very much still in a very experimental phase. So trying to have it set up. So. Lee, I have no idea what you made here as well. I didn't realize Lee had this game or even made levels. So.
Yeah, he got a Wii U for streaming.
Oh, nice. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm happy I have this Wii U set up as well, because then I can also play Wii U games on stream as well. Now I got quite a few of those.
Let me know if you'd like any hints. I won't backseat.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't generally mind backseat gaming, but I do want to try to figure this out.
Yeah.
Just I assume you have to go on the red ball first, but there's nothing indicating anything on this level. Like, I could generally figure stuff out, but Mario Maker is kind of a different beast when it comes to physics. And so, like, when I feel like I should jump because of what I do in Super Mario World, it's not quite the same. So, yeah.
Just do. Thanks, Blackbird.
Thank you, Blackbird. I do appreciate that. Oh, so by the way, y'all, this is good a time as any. Here we go. This is what I'm gonna do. I didn't even notice it went past noon. I guess I missed the timer, but it is noon, and y'all know what that means. It is time for
3 words for you. Treat yourself.
It is time to do the noon routines, out of which I do. And so for myself, that means I take my medication at noon. And so if you need to take medications today, remember, go take your meds now, because it's time if you do it at noon. Like if you haven't had anything to drink today, if you've had any water, go get yourself a glass of water. Get yourself something to drink. If you haven't eaten today, go get yourself some food. Even if you're not feeling too well, you don't feel like you can really eat much, even a small snack is going to help. And if you're honestly just not having a good day, you're not feeling too well, you haven't rolled out of bed, you're just relaxing and just trying to do some self-care, taking care of yourself, take a moment, and everybody should do this as well. Just take a moment and go ahead and just tell yourself that you love yourself. I love myself. I love who I am, and I love who I'm continuing to become. And fitting in the routine of saying that daily can really help. It's just, it's good to love yourself. So yeah, I am going to be taking my meds now. My hormones, but I take them at noon.
We didn't do this earlier.
We did not know. Is it playing? I can't even hear it. Oh, it's because you didn't type it in right.
I've what?
There we go. Oh, Jesus, loud. I need to normalize that volume.
Because otherwise I'd hear you twice. So.
Oh wait, what?
I don't.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I have to. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you got 2 things backwards. I don't know if it's cap sensitive, but okay, I haven't swallowed those pills, but yeah. So all right, I'm gonna keep trying this level. All right, what can we do with this? This could get stuff interesting. Ah, fudge! Darn it! Ah, I lost that.
You got lanky Mario.
And then I died immediately. Lanky boy. I had a level I played the other day where I got 2 lanky mushrooms in a row. That was wild.
Dang.
think I know. I figure you need the mushroom because he's giving it to you.
Yeah.
Get why he would give it to you. Fudge. Okay, so I don't think you can get onto that unless I'm missing something. Alright, we got Lanky Boy again. That's a 1 in 100 chance, y'all.
Jeez.
Yatta. Ah, fudge! I had it. Hard. Why did Lanky Boy? Where did Lanky Boy? Okay, so Lanky Boy. Fun fact: when they were originally making Super Mario Maker, there was a glitch with the mushrooms where instead of having Mario go to the adult Mario, it was just stretching out the smaller Mario. There was a glitch with the with that, and so they ended up turning that into a feature where Lanky Mario has a 1 in 100 chance. So yeah, programming error test.
Yeah.
That was funny. Kept the sprite based on it. Yep.
Fly is definitely going to be the one to know the answer to that.
Oh, really? Well, hello, Fly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've met you before. So
They are
they in the Mario Maker
Mario
community?
Maker genius, from what
Really?
I know.
That's awesome. I mean, look, I've only been playing Mario Maker for a few days. I am much more familiar with the Kaizo community, and it's definitely, while the communities are definitely very interconnected, there's definitely a lot of people that aren't on both sides, so it's a pleasure to meet you, Fly. And thank you for explaining that, because that was a much more concise, succinct way to do it than I could explain it. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Give me your hint.
So you do need to jump on the red one first.
Okay, I figured it was that.
And then the black one to get on top of that other platform. From what I remember.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
If
I
you
like to
want
think I'm
a
nice.
hint of how to time it, I can give you that
Okay.
as well.
That's fine. I'll figure that out. So we did just pass the 10-minute mark, but that's whatever. I'll give this a few more tries. It's a short level, so.
I'm really bad at timing things, so.
Wait, no, I want it to go once so I can jump off the second black one, I think. There we go. Okay.
There.
That about
What is?
sums up my Mario Maker experience in a nutshell. It's so different. Like, it's so floaty compared to Super Mario World. Super Mario World is nice because it's like, oh cool, I can just jump on stuff. Lee, you need to put coins and stuff, boy.
This was his first level he made.
Yeah, you know what? That's not an excuse. So that's fine. I'll give this a few more tries. How's my sound doing? Okay. Yeah. I think you're still being picked up, right, Megan?
Hello?
Yeah, okay, you are. So that's understandable since acceleration and deceleration is a lot stronger. Yes. Yes, that's in Super Mario World, yeah. So it's definitely a lot floatier in this. Getting used to doing shell jumps in Super Mario World, or getting used to doing in Mario Maker after playing Super Mario World for so long was just like, yikes. So at the very least, some other stuff seems to be easier in this, but it's definitely been a bit of a learning curve. And so...
Also, Lee apologized for the sound effects that he added at the start of the level. He didn't realize that when you're playing it, you're gonna hear it over and over and over.
Gosh. Okay, so I'm trying to... I think the timing is based off of the cannonball going off of the screen. Let's see. One. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. This is exactly what I want. Are you kidding me right now? Is that... Oh, God. Okay. How dare you, Lee, first of all. Alright, so we need to...
Well, you got
One.
it.
I did get it, but I'm not... We'll get it again. I mean, this isn't 100, man, so we're fine, but... Yeah, timer. I know, right? Don't call me out like that. I know what I'm doing.
He did say it isn't super tight, like you don't have to go on the first set of...
I don't think Lee could do
the
super
cannon.
tight. I'm gonna call him out.
Yeah, he said it took him a while to actually clear the level so he could post it.
Why do you submit? That's so mean. Okay, I did say it would take him, so that's fine. Which means level submissions are open, so doing whatever y'all want to do, because this is in the name of charity. If we do hit our goal of $20 donated today as well, we will be doing a Panga level. So, yeah. And which 50% of all the proceeds from today will be going to the Tacoma Rainbow Center. It is a local organization that provides resources to queer folk in the Tacoma area here in Washington. It's a place that I have, directly benefited from myself. So, okay, I don't even need the frickin' mushroom. The mushroom doesn't do anything. Like, I only care if I get the bonus thank you. Okay, that didn't work, but I can... One up! I don't understand, and then we have it over there. I don't know, there's just a lot of elements on this where it's just like... Bleh. Well, I never said I was going to be playing these levels well today, I just said I would be playing them. Okay, a little bit after that. Oh, my stomach. Alright.
Tommy, be nice to Marcy.
Be nice to me. So. Okay, a little bit more. That's true. Megan said so, Tummy. I'll probably just go take some thumbs in a bit. Honestly, I really want to do more Mario Maker on stream, but I'm just waiting for Mario Maker 2 to come out. So...
Yeah. Yes, you can do it, Marcy.
There we go. Okay, that was not too bad. So,
yay.
There we go. So what's the... And I'm still familiarizing myself with the commands as well. Is it completed? Yeah, so I completed this. And then I'm gonna ban Lee. Yay, we done that. So, yep, and so next, go ahead and move on. Not even a world record, shake my head.
Shave your head.
Shake my head, shave my... Don't do that. How dare you? How do I add a level? Exclamation point add, and then you put the level code after that. So, thank you for the GGs. Alright. Oh, Shoujo beat this level. Okay. Can I start this as well? Do I have to go into the level again to start, or can I... I so don't know how to use Mario.
I didn't know that Shoujo beat Lee's level.
I guess so. I think Lee submitted it.
No, Shubda did.
So. Oh, Shubda also played it as well? I didn't realize Shubda played, I'm guessing not on stream.
She used to for certain people.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because she started out as Mario Maker.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need to go to it. Here,
she moved over to Kaizo Hacks once she got partnered.
Oh, really? Interesting. I didn't know that. View mode. Alright, next one. This is, Wait, no. I have it pulled up on here. What am I doing? I'm so confused. Yeah. Ah! That's right. I figured it was gonna be in there still. You cannot share in your chat. Yeah, she switched ROM hacks right after getting partnered. Gotcha.
I remember how often you were in there just, like, helping tell her about the mechanics and stuff.
Of Mario Maker?
Stream. Yeah.
Gosh.
You were the real MVP.
Sorry in advance for my bad, difficult level design. I'm trying to improve. Hey, it is A-okay, and I'll give you feedback on it as well, because I'm trying to improve too. So, I mean, I've only made like one level so far, but Shoujo actually seemed to actually enjoy it. So, yeah, it is okay. It is a work in progress. I know these things do take time, so... Oh no. First off, I need to follow Lilith. Anyways,
Not to put you down or anything, but you should also realize Shoujo gets a lot of garbage viewer levels, so
that's fair, and that's totally fair. But yeah, I'm gonna change the title. I'm gonna change the title real quick, actually, as well of the stream. I'd like to make better levels, but I don't have access to my reader right now. That's fair. I feel ya. So. Go ahead and just update this. While playing viewer levels. Alright, that should hopefully go through. I didn't put exclamation point title. Really... There we go.
What? Oh.
What? Wait, what were you saying?
I didn't really talk about my, like, LGBT side of
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's actually... You should talk about that. That'd be a good thing to talk about. So, because you are, you are not cis-het yourself, so...
Yeah, I'm I'm in a het relationship, but I am bi. And I was dating a girl for about 4 months at one point. And it was interesting because she actually had a lot of the similar conditions that I do. Like POTS and autoimmune stuff.
I don't think I'm so.
Yeah, now I'm with Lee, and we've been together for almost 3.5 years. I would say, just in terms of like sexuality, I'm leaning a little more towards men, but
that's okay.
I mean, it also depends on the emotional connection I have with the person. I guess so.
Gotcha. And I think this would be, if you'd be comfortable answering this question, I am kind of curious. How has, relationship wise, sexually wise, like how have you had, like, how has your experience been dating and in that sort of realm, with intersecting with the fact that you are disabled? Like how has that been for you? Have you had any, like, is it different? Were you dating before you had these disabilities as well? Was it any different back then? If not, like, how do you think you had this change because of that?
I mean, I was 14 at the time of my diagnosis, so I was kind of just starting to have relationships, if you could even call them that, at 14, I guess.
That's fair.
And then I've been with Lee for 3.5 years. I'm now 19, so
this is definitely an interesting part of
it. I feel like before I met him, it was almost a bigger deal to me about my disabilities than to anyone that I met. Like to Lee, it didn't I don't know how to say it, because I don't want to say it didn't matter to him. But
he didn't let it matter?
He knew it was. What?
He didn't let it matter, I think is what you're going for? Or?
Yeah. Yep. He
Gotcha.
He acknowledged it. He's really good about learning about it and listening to me and understanding what I'm going through. But it didn't really affect our relationship in a negative way, thankfully.
Gotcha.
So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking with him as well. He really seems to. He's a good dude. I really like Lee. So I'm glad that you have someone who's so supportive. So, all right.
I think part of it is because of his younger brother, he's kind of used to the level of flexibility that needs to happen. Having someone that has special needs.
And what is his brother? What about his brother makes him so he's kind of suited for this?
I'll avoid talking about specific details a little bit, but his brother has the mental capacity of about a 3-year-old, and he's 23, I believe. And so he needs constant care, and so Lee is just kind of used to, like I said, that level of not always knowing how things are going to be and having to change your plans on a whim.
Gotcha. This is an interesting level. I'm starting this right now. We've just been moving on here as well. So yeah, okay, that's interesting to hear about. So what the heck am I supposed to do at this level? No, that's not it. But okay, yeah, no, that's certainly thank you for sharing that with us as well. I'm glad that he has had this experience as well. I've noticed, especially people in my life, if they grow up around other people who are disabled, they definitely tend to be better equipped and better suited to be able to interact with people later on in their life that don't necessarily have the same disabilities. I will say I did have one ex who had their sister was autistic, and it kind of helped in some ways in how she interacted with me, and in some ways also didn't help, which was unfortunate. But yeah, I hold on one second. See if I can pause the timer. I need to very quickly go use the restroom again because I've been drinking a lot of coffee.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, what were we gonna say? I can go in a second.
What about it made it not as good with the ex?
she really did not like autism just because of how it like her younger sibling was very aggressive and violent and would kind of their life had to kind of be dictated around the sister's needs, and she grew resentful of that. So I don't want to go too much on it, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use the restroom. If you want to answer the question that Blackbird just asked,
Yep.
Okay, then you can go ahead and do that. I will be right back, y'all. BRB.
So, Blackbird, feel free to message me if you want like a deeper explanation of this. I'll try to quickly sum it up as best as I can. The two major health things that I deal with is a condition called POTS. It stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which is like a really, really fancy way of saying I have an autonomic dysfunction. My heart rate is really high, tachycardic, when I sit up or stand up because my blood pressure isn't adjusting properly. My autonomic system isn't working the way it should. And so if I stand up too quickly, I will pass out because my blood pressure doesn't adjust. It's too low, not getting enough blood to my head. That also comes with like my body not handling fluids in the best way. And so there's a lot of dehydration that happens, and my body temp is hard to manage. Like it doesn't handle itself the way it should. And the other thing that I deal with is an autoimmune disease that right now there's a working diagnosis for it so that they can treat it, which means they don't exactly know what to call it, but they're just kind of giving it a name in my chart so that they can prescribe medications and other treatments. But they are calling it some kind of spondylopathy. Some people are familiar with ankylosing spondylitis. It's similar to that. I have arthritis. It's not actually all in the joints. It's also in the connective tissue from the joints to tendons, bones, muscles. And yeah, so I'm on a few biologics for that, which are basically like chemo medications to suppress my immune system so that it doesn't attack itself. Yeah. If you have any other questions about any of those things, you can ask them. Okay, Annie. I hear Birdie outside my window. I'm not so sweet. You're so sweet. But not the kind of sweet like the frosting from the grocery store that's so sweet it hurts your head. Because that's not really a good kind of sweet. Yeah, Birdie. I wonder if I can see it. Oh. Where's the birdie? I mean, there's a tree right outside my window that's probably up in there somewhere, but I don't see it right now. You missed hearing.
My mic's not on.
You missed hearing the birdie outside my window.
Ooh, birdie. Mic is muted? Yes, it was. Thank you for pointing that out. I forgot. I had to get ready to go do chores in a bit. No problem, Annie. How is Dainty so sweet? I know, right? Eating people is not a good thing, Annie. That's true. Boris, no. Yeah, I'm gonna step away, get some chores done. Go do that, Annie. Loafy girl. Thank you for hanging out. I simultaneously want to pet Raven, but also would feel guilty about keeping a bird in captivity. That's fair. All right, let's keep doing. I'm gonna keep trying to do this level.
2 minutes. Why did you say 2 minutes?
I don't know, until they're back, maybe? Okay, so this is gonna be a tough level. I did say Kaizo is welcome, but let's see. I don't regret saying Kaizo is welcome. I have an idea of what I think I should do here, but let's see.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. Wait, is it 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because it's my timer's off now because the VOD's off, so. Because we reset the stream earlier. Oh, not quite that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hammers at the ready, indeed. Hammers at the ready. Let's see if I can do this. I don't know. So, this is gonna be a tough level, but yeah. Taking a sip.
Did I answer your questions, Blackbird? Also, I would totally love to talk about pet birds with you. I've been doing research for a couple years now about getting a pet bird.
Oh,
and
nice.
There are definitely ways to not feel guilty about keeping a pet bird. Just know that it's going to take a lot of commitment and a lot of hours of your day to make sure that they're happy.
Yeah, that's definitely what I've heard about pet birds as well. So, yeah. Anything else anything else you thought of that you'd like to be able to talk about today? Anything else you don't think we really touched on in terms of wheelchair use, your disabilities, what you experience, social issues, anything else?
The only thing that I haven't mentioned that unfortunately is somehow political and might be controversial is flu shots.
Sure. Yeah, actually, that'd be a good... You know what? Let's talk about flu shots, because you know what? I don't want to get into politics on this, but we're not going to make this a political issue, because flu shots deserve to be talked about, so let's do that.
So, for me, there are some vaccines that I cannot get because of the medications I'm on. My immune system is... Oh, there it is. Oh, no.
Oh, jeez. Ah! Alright, thank you,
Ooh, it's gone.
I love this meme.
So,
alright, continue.
I can't get certain vaccines because instead of my body creating antibodies against them, it would actually just harm me instead. So I'm able to get my flu shot, and I definitely have to because I'm so at risk because of the immunosuppressants that I'm on. And I really, really wish everyone else would get their flu shot as well, because we fortunately live in a world where you can't really take days off of work and stuff if you're sick.
Yes.
Or you don't have enough of them. So by anyone going out into public while they have the flu or a cold, it is really putting me at risk and like putting my life at risk.
Yeah.
Because if I go to the grocery store and someone had maybe used the motorized cart while they were ill and I got sick, that would be a few months of me trying to get over it, and I'd have to stop my treatments, and I could end up in the hospital. I could end up with an infection that would become deadly, and it's just not a good time.
Yeah, it does not sound like a good time.
I get so frustrated when people say, like, oh, I don't want to get my flu shot because I feel, like, really fatigued for a few days afterwards. And it's like, that's what's supposed to happen. Your body is fighting against the... It's not a live vaccine, but they are creating antibodies against this illness that could be really problematic for you. And 3 days is not going to be that bad in the long term, I guess.
And honestly, like, in my
experience... I feel like I've talked about this in a better way. Like, my words are not happening as well. I had a really busy day yesterday.
That's okay. You're doing great.
But, yeah. Please get your flu shot. Please just do it. And I'm not the only person in the world that has a compromised immune system.
And I also do want to put my 2 cents into this as well, because this is something that I feel very strongly about. Which, for one thing, yeah, there's the herd immunity side for this, of the people that can't get this and are immunocompromised. Like the flu. First off, the flu can be dangerous to you as well. You shouldn't underestimate like what it can do to you as well. But for people that can't get these vaccines or immunocompromised, again, as I just mentioned, like this could be literally a matter of life and death. We do need to prevent this from spreading. But I also know that there's definitely a lot of misinformation about the flu shot that I know goes around. There's this one where it's just like, oh, if you get the flu shot, you're going to get the flu. It happened every time. It's as Megan mentioned, you might feel like a little sicker and down for a few days, but that's your body creating the antibodies. A vaccine,
you might even have a fever from it.
Yeah,
you might get a fever, but it's because your body is fighting against and creating those.
Yes, it's when your body gets sick, when it starts having the fever, it starts, like the runny nose. The fever itself is your body is warming itself up to be able to fight these things. When you're sniffly, when you're getting like mucus and happening, that is, the dead white blood cells from fighting these things as well. You're creating these antibodies. On top of that, the way that the flu shot works is there's also another myth, like, oh, I took the flu, I got the flu shot, and I still ended up getting the flu, therefore it doesn't work. Now, there are a few things like this. There's generally when people say that, it's, oh, I felt sick for a few days afterwards, which that's not how this is working, and it's doing that. And yes, there is still a chance you can get the flu when you get the flu shot. I think most people don't realize that the flu shot isn't actually you're getting a shot for one illness. This is actually a vaccine for multiple different strains of the flu. Essentially, every year the CDC will synthesize a new vaccine based off of what they predict are going to be the most common strains and the strains that are going to be most likely to be people are going to be exposed to for this next year. And so you're getting the flu shot for all the more common strains and the more dangerous strains as well. That's what you're protecting yourself from with this. So there's still a chance that you could get the flu. You're just getting one that, you could have a lot worse of a time if you didn't get the flu shot as well, because it's protecting you from more than one type of flu, since the flu itself, influenza, is lots and lots and lots of different strains and diseases that have very similar symptoms as well. And another one that is very common and isn't just for flu shots, it's for vaccines in general, is this idea of vaccines can cause autism or X illness or X condition, etc. And at the very least, I can comment on autism as someone who is a little familiar with it, having lived all of her life with it. I do want to point out that the idea that you can get autism from a vaccine
I'm so sorry.
Wait, what? Oof, hold on a second.
That sounds rough.
Wait, what sounds rough?
The worst was getting the flu while at boot camp.
Yeah, no, that sounds rough. I thought you were commenting on, I just dropped some frames. Sorry about that.
No.
Looks like internet's been acting up the last couple days. It should stabilize. It's been pretty well all day. But, yeah, it sucks getting flu at boot camp. But, oof, there's some more. Hopefully it's not terribly bad. But, probably just losing half a second here and there.
We could both turn our cameras off for the Skype call, maybe?
That's a good idea. I'll go ahead and do that myself.
Okay.
But yeah, as someone... Yeah, see ya, Megan. Let's go ahead and boop, turn that off. That'll definitely help on my end. But yeah, so when it comes down to the autism side of it, so I don't think most people realize what autism actually is, because autism is not a disease. Autism is not a, like, come on, switch, or I'm pressing the wrong button. Switch back over. Autism is not something that you can catch. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, where essentially when you are in the oh wait, hold on a second. Oof. Hold on a second. I don't know how much of this is going through. Wait a second. I gotta kill some tabs. Yikes. Yeah, that number's just going up.
If we need to, we could even end the call and I could just answer questions in
Sure, yeah, I think we might need to end the call.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, see you, Megan.
Bye, everyone. It's been really great being able to talk.
And maybe if it stabilizes later, we can do this as, we can try calling again, but yeah. Yeesh, alright. I'm gonna end the call.
Bye.
Bye. We've dropped 2,000 frames in the last minute or so, and which is why I'm taking the time to write this out, because I don't know if everybody can hear me, but I think it just stabilized out. It's not dropping anymore. It was just kind of going up for a bit, so it looks like there was just a spike in the drop frames for a moment. I think we're okay. It looks like it's stopped now, but yeah, Dainty, oh, it's gone back up again. Yeah, I'm seeing it go up and down here on the bit rate, so which is why I'm like, what is going on? It's not too bad. I'm just gonna close out of Firefox myself just to prevent that from happening. But yeah, let's go and have the music be on. Yeah, so Megan will continue to be in the chat to be able to answer any questions. But so autism, neurodevelopmental disorder, what that means is autism by itself is actually, it's not a disease, it's a condition in which neurodevelopmental means essentially it means the way that your brain develops. So like, you're a babby and then you know, the brain happens, and then as you get older, your brain grows, and the gray matter grows, and you get more ridges as you learn more, and it gain more, like, ability to motion, stuff like that. And so autism actually affects the way that your brain develops. It's something that you're born with. It happens in the fetus as you're, you know, developing in utero. And so I think what generally, if I'm remembering this correctly, it affects the way that your hippocampus grows, and I think maybe hypothalamus. Hold on one second. I don't actually know at the top of my head. But I think it's hippocampus, which is emotions and such, and it affects the way that you emotionally regulate and handle social situations, and also other stuff as well. But those are the two most common ones, and so you can't really change the way that you're. I'll put it like this, and so yes, you can change the way that your brain physiology is made up. You can change it, you can, like, affect it. Like, if you were to have part of your brain removed, or if it was to go through trauma, then yes, that could affect it. But the idea that you could take something like this, how do I put it? The idea that you could take something, essentially a vaccine, and you will take it, and then that is going to cause your hippocampus to, like, shrink and alter the way that in which it's formed. It's asinine. It's like, that's basically saying the same thing as water could change the way that your brain functions. If you got sick, it could change the way that your brain functions and causes you to do that. It doesn't make any sense. There's no direct relation between these two things, and the idea that this is something that's become pervasive is doing that. The thing I don't understand with the logic of anti-vax rhetoric is, even if vaccines did cause autism, I'd rather have a child with autism than a child who suffered worse from polio or measles or etc. Exactly, and that's another side of this, is that because we no longer have to deal with these things in our modern day, I think part of the logic is just how we remember it. These things weren't as bad as they were before. Because when you do hear about these things nowadays, it's just like, oh, someone got sick and then they went to the hospital and they got better and it's fine now. When that's not really the case. So you need your vaccines. Like, you need to be able to prevent these things from happening, because your quality of life, even if you get these things once and are quote unquote cured, you can still be affected by this for, you know, the rest of your life as well. It can permanently disable you, and you don't want that to happen. And so don't worry about your kid getting autism. If your kid's showing autistic signs after getting a vaccine, they were already autistic before then, it's not going to happen. Like, I understand you want to protect your kid and you don't want your kid to be held back socially, you don't want your kid to suffer in this way, but please, the suffering of which they will go through from getting sick is far greater than the suffering they'll go through for having this illness. So, hello, Lord Moliv. How are you doing today, my friend? It's great to see you. But yeah. Give me all the vaccines. Exactly. Just load me up. Put them in there, Doc. Hold on a second. Exactly. So, yeah. Alright. We're gonna get back to, we'll be playing this more as well. So, I don't know how loud the game audio is. Would y'all like me to either turn up the game audio, or do you want some more of the music, the piano music that we've been playing on our breaks, to be in the background? I'll let y'all